Look, somebody already gave you $20. All right, let me see. All right, I'm gonna go to my brand, go down. What we got planned tonight? Oh, let's play this first.
Under your spell, it don't matter. I really should have known better. But I'm messing with you when you said abracadabra. Under your spell, it don't matter. I really should have known better.
Last night was a movie. Hidden hills reflexing. Cruisy Halabushi. London to Rodeo. City views is busing. Woke up in a penthouse. Champagne and jacuzzi.
Abracadabra. Under your spell, it don't matter. I really should have known better. But I'm messing with you when you said abracadabra. Under your spell, it don't matter. I really should have known better.
Hey, this burns me, man.
Hey, man. You can hear when the one popped his lips, man.
Yes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Yes, indeed it is. It's Tuesday once again, and welcome back to another edition of Flipping Tables with Black Man Unfiltered and LIT. What's happening, y'all? Before we bring everybody else up, I'm going to make sure that we welcome everybody and get the familiars and the particulars out of the way. If it's your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And those who've been here, y'all know what to do. Go ahead and hit the like button. The first, I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge a few people before we get started. We have Mr. Joshua Jones in the building, Reckless Ray, Embrace the Grace, Take Heed to the Message in the building, y'all. Who else we have? The one and only Almond Eyes, Antoine Scorched Earth, also known as Clement in the building. Oh, the Real Bravado Network. We're going to handle business with this him. He want to see the pastor slide on in, but we got you, brother. Appreciate the super chat. And who else do we have in here? Lady Navoa in the building. What's happening, darling? Good to see you back. Yes, indeed it is. Who else do we have in the building? Yes, Knowledge and Relationships. Welcome back. And who else do we have in the building? I think that's it so far. Oh, yeah. And I can't forget the intellectual soapbox. Salute, my brother. So we're going to start bringing people up one at a time. The first person I'm going to bring up, y'all know, is Jamie from around the way. Jamie, welcome to the show, darling.
Hey, thank you for having me again. I'm
Yes,
excited.
indeed.
So
How are you this evening?
I'm good. It's been a good day.
Good. The next person I'm going to bring up, y'all know her as Embrace the Grace. What's happening, Grace? How you doing, darling?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Good. Y'all know him as the president of the 7Bs Club. I'm going to bring y'all to the club, the one and only, Mr. Bennett in the building.
Good evening, everyone. Good to be here tonight.
Go ahead, Mr. Bennett. Go ahead and give him the intro, sir. Give him the intro, sir. That'd be waiting
Once
for
again, I want to greet my brotherhood of follically free. I salute the bold and the beautiful, the beneficent, benevolent bald brotherhood of the BMD network. It's good to be here with you guys tonight. You guys looking good with your bald heads. Let your bald head shine. That your God will praise the God in heaven for showing the light of your head. So I'm just excited for the discussion that's going to be going on tonight. And again, work that baldness tonight. Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it, Mr. Bennett. Thank you so much for addressing the follically free once again. Also, I'm going to bring up the queen. Yes, y'all know her as Take Heed to the Message. Take Heed, how are you, darling?
I'm doing fine. Just enjoying another Tuesday with my family. That's it. We doing another Tuesday.
That's so glad you could come back and join us again for another Tuesday night edition of the Black Men Unfiltered Network. And also, y'all know him as the continent, the one and only R. Payne. Put your hands together for him, y'all.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
R. Payne, how are you, sir?
Can't complain. Everything's cool.
Good.
Another day.
Yes, indeed. Also, I'm gonna bring up another founding member of the three. We're gonna bring him up. Y'all know him as JT from the What We Know podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one and only JT.
What's going on, everybody?
What's happening, brother?
What's going on, man?
How are you, sir?
Man, I'm doing good. It's Tuesday night, so it's always good. It's always
Indeed
good,
it is. You know what, Real Bravado, we got something for you, brother. Before we even get started, we want to make sure we acknowledge the $20 super chat. Real Bravado Network says, Pastor is going to shout and praise for this early one. And we also got Mayor's Politics and Sports handing out 5 gifts to the network. Thank you so much, sir. Y'all go ahead and grab that, gift it up. R. Payne, thank you so much, sir, for your contribution to the channel, sir. Appreciate it. Yes, indeed. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and slide on down here, and I'm going to bring Black Man Unfiltered up in just a second. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go ahead and bring him up. But first, I'm going to go ahead and check everybody's temperature, man, just to make sure everybody's good. We're going to start with Mr. Bennett. Mr. Bennett, how was your week so far, sir?
Week so far has been excellent. And again, we're just counting down the days. We're T-minus 3 days. Season number 27 will be in the books and history. We start season 28 or we die. And I gotta give credit to JT for really bringing that to light when you said, what is the goal of marriage? And you said the goal of marriage is death. So that prior 27 years is not going to mean anything unless we die together. So I stopped saying I haven't been married 26 years, and I won't be saying I've been married 27 years. I'm in one season at a time. So I'm looking forward to season number 28. Either that or we die. So we'll get away with the missus this weekend. This week we're going to get away for a couple days and just relax and enjoy ourselves and just coast into this thing. But yeah, life is good. Life is very good. We're very blessed.
That's what's up. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us this evening. Take heed to the message. Ma'am, you've been in these streets, in these YouTube streets. Go ahead and tell us how your week been so far, darling.
I'm getting a lot of hate. I'm used to it, though. I'm used to hate. It's okay. I'm used to it, I'm getting a lot of hate. I'm still hate. Oh, there's an echo.
Yeah, somebody need to be muted.
That was me. I did. I turned it.
Okay. So I'm gonna keep my, I'm gonna still keep my knee on the neck.
That's right. Keep your knee on the neck. R. Payne, thank you. Take heed. R. Payne, how was your week today, sir?
That was pretty good. I dusted off my old wedding VHS and had it digitized. man, I was handsome, man, at one point in my life, man. I looked at my wedding pictures. I said, holy shit, man. Oof.
You have to share some of us. Share some clips. Share some.
Yeah, I might do that. So yeah, man, my wife is just lovely, man. So I gave it to her. I came downstairs. You see some people are going, parents and all that. Father walking her down the aisle and stuff like that. And I'm gonna take full credit for all the feelings that she had right now. I set her up. She's all feeling good and shit. But. No, it's nice. It's a long time. I have all friends or something. I'm gonna just leave it there. But looking at those videos, I haven't looked at that video in years. And I don't even have a VHS player. Shit, I couldn't look at it, so I had to send it out. It's pretty nice. I'm thinking about doing something with it. So
well, good. That's what's up. Congratulations, man. You and Mr. Bennett, man. And take heed. Y'all in here putting the miles in on these marriages, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's what's up. Grace, it's on you, darling. How was your week?
It's been a good week. Just getting ready. My son's about to turn 18, April 9th. He decided to go to Florida for his spring break. But he said, Mom, I'm flying in the night before my birthday. So at least he knew to come here on his birthday. I get that day. So I'm excited about that. Now he grown. Now I can take him off my cell phone bill, take him off all of that. Now it's time you want to act grown. Now you really are grown. So I'm excited about that.
I know you looking forward to that. You got your grown man on your hands now.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, good luck to you. As they say, as the parents say, we just get ready to empty the nest after a while. So that's good luck for you. Jamie, how goes it, darling? How was your week so far?
It's been very simple and domesticated. I've just been cleaning, so I haven't really done anything exciting. But it's exciting. A good week. It is, because I'm almost done. I got one more room, and so yes, that is exciting. It's that when you get older, you get excited about your house being clean.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's it. Other than that, it's been a great week. So
well, good. JT, brother, how was your week, sir?
Oh man, my week has been doing good so far. Getting ready for my youngest daughter's her second stepping stone. She's getting ready to graduate from college.
Oh,
we're getting ready to
congratulations, brother.
Celebrate, man. Yeah, bachelor.
Yes, sir.
Degree in biomed, and she will be probably going back to school. I have no idea. This is her second stepping stone, so this is. This will be her first season of being fully grown. It's gonna be some growing pains though. Ooh, just like what Embrace was just saying. It's gonna be a whole lot of things she gonna have to hold on to her own when it comes down to it.
That's right.
We're taking all the training wheels off.
That's right.
It's gonna be guided. It's just all guidance now.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear, man. I like to hear things that's moving along fine, man. Everybody and their grandmama doing good, being blessed. That's what I'm talking about. Speaking of being blessed, we finna bless y'all with some of this super chat action before we get started. But tonight's show, before we bring the pastor on in, tonight's show is you ain't black if you don't vote Democrat, but are Republicans any better? Y'all, we gonna have us a good show tonight. So y'all buckle up. We're gonna set it off with the one and only Pastor Goodfoot.
Tryna party all night, DJ play another song. 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 It's Slapper, baby. I'm in this bitch with AJ in the club, jumping up and down like it's payday. Party all night, shout out to my nigga, baby. Yeah, that's my DJ. That's my DJ. Nigga, I've been rolling like a Mack truck. Bam, 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 throw me back one. Don't step on my shoes, nigga, back up. Fuck you, fuck around and get your bitch snatched up. Yeah, they done let me in, they done let me through, yeah. Nigga, it's whatever what you wanna do, yeah. Out of my head, chicken all night long. DJ, run this bitch, I'm tryna, yeah.
That's crazy.
Pastor come sliding through. Did y'all see Grant in the background, man? Grant was back there. Go on, Pastor, get it. Y'all, let's go ahead and get this party started, man. Black Metal Filter, is you back there, sir? Is you back there, man? I want to bring you up, man. I'm gonna bring you up the right way before we get started. Y'all, listen. It says you ain't black enough if you ain't Democrat. We're gonna get this party started. I'm gonna start out with JT on this one. JT, when you saw the title, man, what did you think? You think I was coming to you first, did you?
Cap. It's all cap.
It's all cap.
Yes, man. It's all cap. It's all cap. So, I already know if black man has something to do with it, it's going to get deep, baby. It's going to get real deep.
Good. Jamie, it's on you, darling. When you saw the title of the show, what did you think?
I thought, you were trying to fight. You trying to start a problem.
Oh, yes.
By saying that, by starting that conversation again. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I'm trying to see who could possibly not a Democrat on the panel. So it's going to be an interesting conversation.
It's going to be a free for all. You just don't know. Grace, when you saw the title, what did you think, darling? Just
I said
before we get started.
It's going to get hot in here tonight. Because, when it comes to religion and politics,
yes.
Shit's going to hit the fan.
we gonna touch a few things. We touch those third rails over here, man, all the time. Mr. Bennett, sir, your thoughts?
Well, hopefully, I'm looking forward to a facts-based conversation, and one that is respectful. I know things get heated in here sometimes, but at the end of the day, we need to be solution-oriented, and we need to think what's in our best interests. So I'll always put that first before my feelings or, however emotions I'm feeling towards the issue. So I'm always going to keep it civil here.
Indeed. All right. Take heed. When you saw the title, what were you thinking, darling?
I love what Mr. Bennett just said right now.
Go ahead.
I love what he just said. That's not going to happen.
It sounds good.
With politics and religion mixed together and all that, and then you add in black on top. If you're not black, it's gonna go left. We already know. Okay, that's just my take on it. That's all.
I feel you. But as long as it's up to me, I won't let my I won't let my emotions get the best of me in that regard. I don't do that.
Indeed. I think we're gonna be civil tonight. And now I left our pain last for a reason. Because I already know how he feel. Our pain, go ahead and tell us how you feel, man.
I got 16 videos on my channel about why black people and black men in particular need to divest from the Democrat Party. I want to see them crumble into hell if I can help it. It's not that I like Republicans, but the Democrats have been grifting us for 50 years. Our cities are shit. All of our elected officials are all shit. Everybody's shit, man. What has the Congressional Black Caucus done for any of us? Who do we know who they are? So we need to get there. I'm not even a proponent of the Republicans, by the way. I'm just saying that the Democrats, we need to just show people that we shouldn't be homogeneous or monolithic behind any party. Nobody else is doing that but us. And they're replacing us in droves with the illegal immigrants using our tax dollars and everything. There's no bigger slap in the face than what they're doing right now. So, okay, we can get the party started, boy.
No, you can start.
You just started. You just spoke half the show already, man. You should have a little bit. You just already showed your hand already, man.
That was my opening salvo.
Man, you're hitting folks with the big joker.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I mean,
I'm a bad space player. I played the trump card in the beginning, man.
Next time, give it some breadcrumbs. You gotta, turn up the heat slowly, man. You just coming out.
I'm sorry, man. The oven was on, man. I just
coming in hot.
Swinging.
I'm sorry.
And he said he can cook.
He just he didn't cook. He roasted, man.
Right.
Ashes. This ashes.
But I'm gonna be civil. I'm gonna be civil. I'm taking a cue from Mr. Bennett.
That's right. All right, Payne, I'm gonna get started with you, man. Why do you think that black folks really need to make the Democrat Party earn their vote, man?
Well, for one, first, it's about time. right? I think one of the mistakes that we made and our leaders have led us into this thing is when you vote almost 100% for one party, they lose. They know they have your vote, whether they do anything for you or not. So they don't make good on their promises. Even Obama, the so-called first black president, he did more for the alphabet community than he did for us. So, and then the Republicans, when they win, if they know they can win without you, why should they give a shit about what you want? Right?
Absolutely.
So we're caught out in the middle. So I'm saying even if we were just 50-50, then people would have to understand that they got to vie for our votes, right? Because that means that we're discerning on who we're going to vote for.
Right.
And, I have to get on, that's why I really talk about black men. I'm going to land it here and not black women, because black women, not all black women, but black women have made it clear that the Democrats give them what they want. Social programs, coddling, and all that kind of shit. We don't get that as men, right? So I want to make sure that if for anything else, that some of those swing states, that if Biden loses them, I want them to blame it on the black man. I'm for all that smoke. The black man didn't come out. You goddamn right. We didn't come out for him. I'll end it there.
Thank you. Let me go with JT this time. JT, what do you think that do you think that the Democratic Party should earn the black vote, or should they just show up with a bucket of chicken and sit at our kitchen table and pander to us every 4 years to get our vote, man? You know what I'm saying?
In my opinion, you get what you get. Most people don't know how to vote, so it is what it is. You got a lot of people that think that they're Democratic, or they think that they are liberal, when most of their views are going to be conservative views anyway, and they don't even know it. Correct. So it's more of a popularity type of thing anyway. So until people start actually paying attention on, for one, what the importance of voting is, then they got to understand how to vote. They have to understand what not politics, but they have to understand, I guess I can say the politic, landscape, right? Understand where they fit in. A lot of people don't believe that their vote actually count. They just get out there, fill out a ballot, they sign for whatever. You ask people about proposals, you ask them what's attached to the proposals, they have no idea of what it is. A lot of people don't even think to look locally into the judges that's right there in their district, right there in the boroughs that they are at, that affects them. They keep worrying about things that it does affect them, but not as directly. The president, I guarantee that it's way more important for you to find out who that judge is, to find out who those people that's coming together on the city county. Most people don't even know who their mayor is in the city. They don't even know who their deputy mayor is. They don't talk to people. They don't have people. Like, that's what's crazy. One of the things I can say about being in Detroit is that it's a lot more people in Detroit that do know about local politics. They are. You probably wouldn't know it, but it matters to us. You know what I'm saying? So I just end it right there.
Appreciate it. Jamie, it's on you, darling. Should the Democrats earn the black vote?
Yes, I think that anybody running for office should earn the votes that they get. But I also think that the people that vote need to not leave it at the vote and hold people accountable. Like JT was saying, people don't know the roles of like certain jobs or that the city governments have. And so you don't even know how to hold them accountable. So they're able to do what they want when they want and treat us any kind of way. You want me to be my personal opinion? I wish that the American people would boycott the election altogether and say, we're not going to do your system anymore. But I don't think everybody's scared to see how it would go down. I think we would get in a lot of trouble, but I would happily go to jail if we boycotted the election as a unified front as the people. But yes, I do. I think that anybody's position should earn that vote and then be held accountable. Right. So
if it's anything I know, man, is that we know how to boycott some stuff. Did you see what they did to the Kellogg's? Man, them folks got on TikTok was like, we ain't buying your damn Frosted Flakes or anything else you make.
Shout out to
I think about it, they were paying $8
Okay.
for a box of cereal, man. Come on. You know, and the president of Kellogg's will eat some cereal for dinner. I tell you what, no, you eat cereal for dinner. You know what I'm saying? They got 99-cent Frosted. When's the last time y'all seen 99-cent Frosted Flakes?
Right.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Right.
But you're right. You're absolutely right, Jamie, man. We actually need to do something. You know what I mean? People don't understand, man. We got power, man, if we just exercise it together, you know, organize it. But you know how it is, you know, people want to get rid of your organizing power, you know what I'm saying? Shut off your TikTok where you can't tell the truth no more, you know.
Yeah.
You kind of got to be careful what you see in these YouTube streets, and next thing you know, your channel tore up. You know, folks snatch your monies. You know what I'm saying? Take away your monies.
Did you hear what I said?
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm like, boycott the election. That has nothing to do with this network. That's just my personal opinion. Like how I put that in there for y'all, right there.
Put that in them air quotes. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. Indeed. Grace, talk to us. Should the Democratic Party earn our vote?
Well, I'm gonna have to agree with Jamie. I think any politician should have to work the pavement and earn our vote. But I've come to realize that this whole system is like a pebble that you throw in the pond and it trickles open. We have to start at the pebble. Everybody is so anxious to vote for presidency. Like JT said, we got to learn about our locals. We don't do enough research on people we vote. I've actually seen people just go Democrat, and don't really know who they're voting for. Like right now, I'm sitting on the fence. I'm thinking of divesting, because it's just the state of this country right now has really hit rock bottom, and I think it's the lesser of the two evils. So if we do our research and really think about who we're voting and just don't bubble in Democrat just because they're a Democrat, we need to do what's better for us and the people. But then again, we're dealing with people, so they're flawed as well. But let's see what happens.
You know what they say, Grace? Old habits die hard. You know, people say, I've been voting Democrat my whole life.
I mean, I literally saw it. They were just bubbling in it. I said, do you even know who that is? Oh, no, I just Democrat. I'm just going to bubble in everything.
Straight ticket. That's it. That's the battle cry, the straight Democratic ticket.
Wow.
They be outside the little polling places. You know how they do it. You know how they do it. Take heed. When you go to vote, do you see the people outside telling us, vote the straight Democratic ticket? Should they earn our votes?
Well, I'm going to share something with you. Democrats have never had to earn our vote.
You better say it.
They have never had to. They just come in and say, here's some money, you know.
Right.
We're doing this, we're doing that, like they always do when the 4 years is up. They come in and say, this is what we have done. This is what we have done. Look at this. Here's some money. Come vote for us. And then you'll see them. You'll see people outside saying, vote Democrat, vote Democrat. First of all, y'all ain't even supposed to be near the building. Nobody talks about that.
Right.
There's not supposed to be any signs or anything near the building. You're not supposed to be near the building. You're not supposed to be able to see the mayor over there and all that stuff like that. You're supposed to see nobody over there. It's supposed to just be wide open and you're supposed to be able to walk into the building. But because, you know, we don't have any respect. But the sad part is that Black people, we do not know how much power we wield. That's the problem. We don't understand how much power we wield when it comes to the Black vote. Because if we knew, a lot of this nonsense wouldn't happen in our community. A lot of this foolery. But what it is that long as they cater to the Black woman, they got it. Long as they cater to the Black woman. And I was just saying on my channel, the Black men gonna watch this burn. They're gonna watch this burn. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make Black men feel bad about the situation. I do not blame you. I will sit on the fence and watch it burn too. Because when you have women talk about, I don't need you, you ain't nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't blame them. For years, men have always voted with the sisters. Anywhere we go, they go ahead and follow. And it's the truth. It's the truth. And I'm guilty of this too. I have been, first of all, from me being raised in the hyena clan, okay? We always vote Democrat. Everybody vote Democrat. I used to tell my mama, I asked my mama one time, why we always vote Democrat? She said, because Democrat take care of us. Democrat take care of us. I said, okay. So I continue to vote Democrat, right? For forever. Just Democrat. I know who my people are, but I just like forever. But I'm gonna share something with you. My face had turned a little bit this year. Okay. This year my face turned a little bit.
Why?
And I'm gonna share something with you. I think I'm gonna just sit this one out.
No.
I was telling my kid was looking at me. He said, "You always vote." I said, "I know, but I'm gonna sit this one out because this looked crazy." Okay. Now I was always taught that, you know, both of them are demons. You just vote for the one that wear blue shoes. So you know that's what I thought. But it looked like both of them look like demons. So I have to. Ain't nobody got blue shoes on. I had to go sit down. It's too much. I'm sorry. It's too much. I can't take it. So I'm just looking at both of them with two eyes, you know, cross-eyed. So I gotta just sit this one out because when we come to the point where we making rap songs and stuff like that to get your vote, when we come to the point where HBC is going to the VP house and we playing Sexy Red, instead of us having a meeting about the melanated community, about what's going on in these HBC schools, and we can't sit down, we gotta have a cookout. You know, do Caucasian children go to the VP house and have a big cookout? And you know they playing Sexy Red. I have never heard that before. I've never heard that before. And you know, we don't get a chance to sit down and let's talk about the issues. No, because I'm gonna share something with you. All you gotta do is play music around Black folks. Yes, music around Black folks. Get some fried chicken. Okay.
Did you hear what I said?
That's in your purse. Okay. And then also, you got to make sure, don't forget that red Kool-Aid, damn it. Don't forget the red Kool-Aid. Okay. Don't forget none of that. And also, make sure, this is very important. This is very important. Tell them that if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black, damn it. That's what you tell them. If you don't vote for me, damn it, you ain't Black. So I do not blame the brothers for letting it all burn down. Yes, I said.
I said they've had enough. Now we come to Mr. Bennett.
Oh, but take heed. Don't forget, they got to do the electric slide too. We forgot about that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the slide.
That's how you get them there. That's how you get them.
You got to get them moving and grooving.
Every version of it too.
Show up at your church with the Kool-Aid. You know, we gotta had enough of that Kool-Aid in churches. You know what I'm saying? That's how they come in there and get us, man. Mr. Bennett, it's on you, sir. I would love to hear what you got to say about this topic, man.
Okay, well, certainly I remember when the phrase was initially uttered, and certainly it was cringeworthy when he said it. My only thing is, should politicians need to earn the Black vote? Of course, but there's several problems with that. The first problem, which was just talked about, is what we value really doesn't matter. So the fact that someone can come with a bucket of chicken or with some cheap go on Remu.com, $17.20, you can buy those Trump sneakers that he was trying to push for $400, and we'll spend our money and stand in line and buy them. So what we value is messed up, that we don't think oftentimes in what's in our best interest. And that's why they can do the song and dance on us and make us think that, that they're giving us something, or they can act in horrible ways. We have a problem with just always picking people who are just rebellious, who are not good themselves, but we just love them. We loved Scarface back in the day. We loved John Gotti. because he was just, he was just bucking the system. So yeah, we get behind John Gotti, and we love politicians who do the same thing. So our values are messed up. So yeah, they don't have to own our vote because we're not giving them anything to earn. And as far as on the other side of it, they chose a long time ago not to earn our vote. The 1960 presidential election with Kennedy and Nixon, 40% of black people voted for Nixon in 1940. And how did Nixon repay them in 1968? They went with the silent majority initiative and said, buck the black people, we going in this direction. And so until someone gives me an alternative, I'm not, to the second part of the title, I'm not looking at the Republicans either. So yeah, but at the end of the day, you certainly have to vote your interests. And I think it was said earlier, you definitely have to think local. Again, you think global, but act local. And so who's on your school boards? Who is your local mayor? Who are your public officials? Who's who your justices are, your judges? All that needs to matter. But until we have an awakening to say that, these are the things that we're looking for, can we have an agenda? And it does take a plurality. It does take some homogeneity to say that this is what we want. But the problem is we've talked about in this space about the manosphere and why we can't get certain initiatives going, because every time there's been an initiative to advocate for men, period, whether it be black, white, or whatever, it's always fell apart because of internal stuff, because the men couldn't get together. And the same thing is going to be here. So until we clean our house and we can come up with a cogent agenda that everyone's going to stand behind and not sell out, and for your own selfish interest, no one has to compete for our vote. The other side is definitely not competing for our vote. They made that decision a long time ago. And what we also just saw recently, when they're through with you, you can follow behind them and do all that stuff. When they're through with you, they will kick you out, like Miss Owens that they did last week. They done with her. So you can go follow that train all you want to, and you can be left holding a bag. So I think ultimately the decision is, who are we? What do we want to be? What do we want to represent? And can we build a coalition? Can we build and have a solid message that will draw people? Can we build a block? And it doesn't have to be the majority of us, but it has to be something that gets any person's side potential, especially when our votes can swing in elections. But until we get our act straight, the question is almost moot, because again, what we will kowtow, what we'll things that people say just because a person is acting badly, that's like black men get behind them because they're acting thuggish. I'm sorry, I don't accept that. And I think we need to all start thinking better and really think about what we really value, and then expect that out of the people who are supposed to represent us before we give our votes to anybody. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Appreciate it, Mr. Bennett. You know what? I've been noticing these conversations that we have in these YouTube streets, and it's a microcosm of what's going on. Now, Mr. Bennett, you said earlier we have to come together, right? So we can actually get us an agenda. But more and more, I've noticed that men in the spaces are looking elsewhere. You know what I mean?
That is true.
They're looking at, hey, these folks ain't did us no favors over here. Let's go check out and see what's going on next door. Mm-hmm. My thing is this: if you hadn't really done your homework, I suggest you do your homework on both parties to figure out exactly what's going on. What does this person have to offer you? You know what I mean? That type of thing. Do they have your best interest at heart? I don't know about y'all, but this politics thing is not just local, it's global. I don't know if y'all saw this week or not, but Putin rolled out Black Jesus. And he said, you know what? We're going to worship Black Jesus. Do you know how bad it is in Russia for a white man to get up in front of his nation and say, we're going to worship Black Jesus? That right
he was shocked when he opened that box.
Listen, that box was there before he got there. Let's be honest with this.
Yeah.
He just turned the key and said, you know what? I got a surprise for y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to me, that speaks volumes to the level of politics that we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? In order for a whole entire nation to uproot the very foundation of another nation in the midst of politics. Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think black people were thinking when they saw somebody else on a whole nother side of the world open up the can of worms and say, oh yeah, Jesus was black? How do you think that made black people in America feel? That's some politics for you. Go ahead, take heed.
I'm sorry. I'm mad with the fact that it has always been in the Bible, but we like skim past that part. You know,
right.
We always skim past that part. Who you know that got wool hair? I just let's be real. Who you know that has wool hair and bronze feet?
Right.
I just
but we knew that.
We always go past that part. So now, since Russia done came out and said, because a white man had to say it. So Russia done came out and said, Jesus is black.
That's right.
Now we Yahshua is black. Now we here we go. So but now everybody excited. But did you also hear what he did too? He said the LGBTQIA plus community is now labeled as a terrorist. They're a terroristic group. That's what he labeled. Mm-hmm. So let's be real. It's sad. It's sad because the truth is, if anybody put two and two together, for Yahshua to come from that part of the world and be as white as snow with blue eyes, we all crazy. We all crazy to think he was supposed to look like that. I'm just saying that's my
if y'all, I don't know if y'all ever been to the Vatican before, but the Madonna is black.
Yeah.
In the Vatican.
Right.
The Vatican never said that, but we got people with pictures who've been there, who've taken those pictures. So people have always known. It's just the fact that I find it strange that during an election year where we're about to change hands, you know what I'm saying? You got Biden over here, messing with Russia and putting sanctions on them all of a sudden, or they can't spend American dollars. And all of a sudden, Black Jesus show up. What do you think that's going to do with people here?
But the craziest part is that in Europe, Black Jesus always existed.
Correct.
Even when you look at the prophets and the popes and everything, if you ever went to any of the churches like in France, Italy, you see those. They've always had them.
Right.
It's just funny that you would go places, for instance, like America, and they still talk about Jesus is white. You can go to Egypt and they will still, they used to have, brown and dark and all of that in Egypt. In Egypt, what do? They lighten up the skin also. So it's kind of like, the way I look at it is, we don't need y'all to tell us shit. We already was saying it. We believed it already. Fuck you, Putin, and whoever the fuck else is talking that dumbass shit. That's dumb to me.
But it's gonna affect some people. That's what I was saying earlier.
The reason why I said yes.
Right. On just stuff that just doesn't, doesn't really turn the needle. But that just shows more so our fragility.
Yes.
And then the point that I didn't make earlier, I just wanted to come back to it before we moved on. I forgot about the third rail here, because we're talking about, this binary system, but there's a corporate structure that's running everything.
Right.
Yes.
So again, Citizens United back in 2010, that decision, that Supreme Court decision, definitely flipped the script now. And so we're talking, so it's like, it feels like we're playing chess. I mean, we're playing checkers, but there's some people who are playing chess, and we're just going back and forth with each other about, who you voting for or whatever, when the real, the wheels who are really wheeling things is really behind, what's going on. That's where the real power is. And so, there was a movie I referenced a few shows ago. There was this movie, Rollerball, 1975, sci-fi futuristic flick. But it talked about, the future and how really it's going to be about globalist corporations who are really going to be calling the shots in everything. And so we're starting to see more and more of that kind of influence over the decisions that we make. We're just the peons. We're just kind of going along it, fighting, squabbling with each other. But these corporations go totally unchecked.
Right.
And the Supreme Court gave those corporations a major weapon that they can use to funnel campaigns legally and even on the dark. There's dark money that's out there that's circulating. So again, this argument that we're having one another, we need to wake up and see what's really going on, and it's powerful forces that are really controlling what we see in everything that's going on. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, well, we can't solve all the problems. We can't solve all the problems.
I'm not trying to solve. I just want people to be aware.
I know we need to be aware. One, I don't believe in groupthink. I think that we can't make all the people move in the same direction. We'll waste time doing that. This election coming up, we got to divest from the Democrat Party. That's the one thing we can do. I don't care whether we do it for the same reasons or not. We just need to. We talk about fragility. Right now, they can give us a bucket of chicken and promise somebody a welfare check, and that's all they need. So we need to, before we could organize later on, we need to get the hell away from these guys. I had a white man on the podcast yesterday, and I asked him a question. I said, one of the things that we could do that has nothing to do with race is have a coalition across for men. Forget about just black, because I don't think racism is our biggest problem anymore. I think if we want to change laws like the paternity by estoppel and all the bullshit that they're doing to men, the fact that they have laws that can go 50 years in the past and take all the men's assets and all that shit, well, I don't even see how you could prove those things by a reasonable doubt. So they change whether it's to civil, where the standard of proof is really low. It's whatever you make it. So I'm thinking men are in trouble, and we're in trouble as a collective. We're not in trouble just by black or white. We're in trouble, there's a full court attack on men.
Right.
And so I'm saying we need to build coalitions in terms of with white men, Asian men, Hispanic men who are sick and tired of us getting our ass kicked at every turn.
Right. Can I ask you a question, O'Payne? Can I ask you a question? All right. So on one hand, you said you don't believe in groupthink.
Right.
But at the same time, you're arguing for a coalition.
Yeah. We don't have to think the same. I don't believe coalitions have to think the same. I think we just have to have.
But they have to agree. Look, however we label it, people are going to have to agree on it.
Well, hold on now. You had your chance to say what you want to say. I mean,
I'm asking.
I'm saying I don't think that we have to.
Here we go.
I love him. He's my brother.
I don't think the same to accomplish a mission. Like, for example, if 50% of the men don't vote for the Democrats and the black, we don't have to think. We don't have to do it for the same reasons. All we need to do is understand that we need to break these guys' backs, and that's it. Then we can figure out things later on. I just don't believe that.
That's the group thing.
I mean, we've been trying. Well, listen.
That by definition, that is the group thing. We need to break we need to break the backs of the Democrats.
Yeah, but that's
even
not group
thing. Different reasons, but the common group thing is that breaking the back. So
but see, no. There's layers to what you call group think. You sound like we got to all line up and have a plank of shit that we all agree with.
I did not say
that. Well, that's how I take what you're
saying. I said we have to have a common agenda.
Yeah, agenda means more than one item to me. I mean, agenda sounds like we have a list of shit that we have to do together. I don't want to have a list of shit. We just need to break the back of these bastards. That's all we need to do.
So you just want to break.
That's all we need to do. I don't care how we do it.
Hold on.
So scorched earth, but that's not a. How is that a strategy? So you say break it and destroy it, and then try to build from the ashes from there.
We've been trying to strategige with each other for 100,000 years.
I'm asking you.
It ain't working.
I'm asking
He's asking you how would you suggest that we do it? Is it different people have different things? No. What I want to know is that you don't necessarily have to agree with me on this particular item. Right. But you agree on this particular item. So even though we don't see the same eye to eye on this, we can still move lockstep. Go ahead and give us an example.
I'll give you an example. I don't think that we have to. I don't think some people could still vote because they want to they want to vote in the polls, and some people could stay home. I think, as far as I'm concerned, as long as you're not voting for the Democrats, you're accomplishing the same thing, right? So when somebody tells you that if you don't vote, that's a vote for Trump. For example, that means that the Democrats should be giving us something for our vote, but they're not. So I don't like that trope either. So some people will still go to the polls. I'm thinking about going to the poll and write my own name in as president. You know, I'm serious. You know, but that shit, yeah, somebody could tell me that your vote ain't going to count. That's bullshit. My vote's going to count because I voted. But just because I don't vote for who you think I should vote for doesn't mean shit to me, right? So all I'm saying is that Biden is more racist than Trump ever has been, and his track record is clear on that. So we could think that Trump is a crook and all that shit. Biden was the guy on the steps saying segregation was going to destroy the white family. Biden was the one who did the eulogy at a Ku Klux Klan member thing. Biden was the one in the well of the Senate graping Anita Hill. Biden was the guy who sold the crime bill and put the etch on it and all that shit, man. I'm just telling you. Listen. I don't even hear. No, Mr. Bennett. You know what? I'm not really arguing with you because I know where you're coming from.
No.
I'm just saying. To me, it sounds like a whole bunch of people need to sit in a room and come up with some kind of long agenda that we agree with. We don't need to do that.
So, Arpain,
I don't think we need to do
let's stay right
that.
there with what you're saying. But listen to this: if we're going to be effective, then how do we just do it where you already? So let's put this out here. You already know that people don't trust each other, right? You already know that people are not moving in the same direction. How does that look if we want to be effective in that? If we're not going to have a group thing?
Oh, okay. I think that chaos is a good thing. And then out of chaos, now we have a common thing to actually start to do things together because a lot of people, especially men, don't necessarily like chaos. But I think we need to get there. I don't think we need to try to stream. I think we're going to waste time trying to build coalitions and all that kind of shit. Just don't vote for the Democrats. That's all I'm saying. I don't care why you don't do it. Just don't do it. And then we'll see how. You asked me a question.
Hold on a second, y'all. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, basically. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to agree as long as we head to the same direction. I got you.
And this is just me talking. You guys can work. This is just one man talking. If you guys need a whole list of reasons why if we do this is going to happen there and all that other kind of stuff, that's fine. I'm not going to argue that. I don't need that.
But you know what? I see what Arpain is saying. It will get the other side's attention.
Right.
How? This is what I'm asking.
If they're no longer in power, you got
how do you do that? Given what we have in front of us, how does that look? How do you get if you just saying and you go around and your message to the people is just don't vote Democratic.
Right. I told them why. I said why.
How do you make that effective?
Hold on a second.
Well, okay.
Jamie's had a hand for a minute. I want to get her in here for a second. Yeah. Go ahead, Jamie.
I think if we look at what your first question was how is the political outside affecting what's inside, right? So if anybody remembers, Putin is also the reason why Trump kind of made it in office in the first place. Do you remember how he threatened and said if we put Hillary in, that he was going to blow up the United States? I don't think do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember.
Yeah. So Putin and Trump have a understanding, right? Mm-hmm. And so when he just now did the Jesus is Black thing, at the same time, Trump was addressing the evangelical Christians and letting them know that he is on their side. And so the agenda is to get the Black vote for the Republicans, because a lot of us are church based, right? And if we know, and I think he just said that he has said that the Alphabet Community was a terrorist group. Do you see how it's working? Mm-hmm. Okay, and so what Arpain is saying is we just need one thing, clear understanding. We don't want this anymore, right? And then everybody do what they're good at making that happen. I think a lot of times everybody wants to know the whole plan. That's where we mess up at. I just need you to do what you gonna do over here and mind your business. Because see, when you're looking over here, you starting to compare and see things and trying to do too much. Stay over here, over here, what you're good at, which is shutting this down, get this group of people together, like Putin is doing, right? He's like, okay, I'm about to get these black people riled up right now. Your Jesus is black, and I got proof. And so you're going to be mad at these Democratic people because they've been pushing blonde hair, blue-eyed Jesus, right? They've been treating you like modern day slaves. So now it's a psychological war here, right?
And how did they get to that though? That's my point. They did it because it was groupthink. It was the way that they study us. It's all of these different things. They planned it. They're playing chess. You telling somebody, and we're talking about citizens, telling somebody just vote Democrat and you don't tell them nothing else, you're not going to get anybody's attention. Because most people don't know anything about politics.
People have been telling people just vote Democrat for 50 years.
Yeah, people vote emotionally all the time.
What you guys are not understanding. But listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying, folks. Listen to what I'm saying. I agree with what you guys are saying, but you still have to put a plan together. You can't fight the enemy that has a plan when you don't have a plan.
Right. How you do that? Let me explain something to you. Sometimes you don't always worked. You don't need to see the plan.
Right.
You don't need to see it. Just like Jamie broke it down.
Don't know how to vote.
It don't matter. It don't matter. Pay attention. Jamie, go ahead.
All right.
There's certain people that need to know the plan. But what I'm saying is there's sheeple don't. And that's 90% of the time. Half the time people are fighting for stuff, they don't even know the root of it. Am I lying? All you have to do is make them be emotional, and they're gonna vote based on their emotions. And that's what politics is.
But listen, how you gonna beat chicken and hot sauce in the hustle dance and pair of gym shoes? How you gonna beat that? How you gonna beat somebody coming to you and telling you to rock the vote? If no voting, no vucking. How you gonna beat that? They already done that.
Can I just say this real quick?
What you gonna do to make it look better than that?
JT, real quick.
Like Jesus and Trump
card. Let me just say this real quick. If it was just one item, I would have to press to say the illegal immigrant crisis should be enough for black people not to vote for the Democrats. That should be enough. They're replacing black folks. They're taking our money and they're giving it to illegal people, and they're taking parks, they're taking buildings, they're taking all that stuff. If it was just that, we got more than that. The LBGY and whatever the hell they call them, the alphabet community. Right? I don't disagree with Putin 100%. As far as the black Jesus shit, man, that's just grip. Let me tell you, I've been telling people stop worshiping the white Jesus on the cross. That's the biggest grift in century-long grift. Having people of color bow down to a white Jesus. We've been doing it forever.
Right. And Democrats
you didn't need Putin to tell us that was stupid to do.
But how many people actually listened to you when you said it?
It doesn't matter. I'm talking about me and my family. If everybody wants to continue to worship the white Jesus, I'm not going to spend any time trying to convince them not to do it. We need a plan for that, and we should get lost in hell.
So I don't want to miss the point. Listen to what I'm asking you, because you said something that I consider to be very powerful, right?
Okay, sir.
Don't vote for the Democratic Party. And you're telling people to do this because it will make a big effect on what's going on in the politician world, right?
Yes, sir.
My question is, how do you beat all the grifting shit that we've already followed for 50 years? How do you do that? By just saying it?
Yeah, yes.
Well, Trump
they got
check
chicken and hot sauce. We ain't listening to you, Arpain. We want to do the hustle. We want to keep doing the hustle. We want to keep having people telling us whatever. Get what I'm saying, man. Don't just listen to what I'm saying. You can't, because what you spoke to was Mr. Bennett's point, where he was asking, we have to have groupthink. There's no way of getting around that. You got to have a plan.
No. To me, I don't think groupthink. To me, there's a whole bunch of automatons walking around in line and shit. That's what groupthink is. That's how I look at groupthink.
I look at the history of elections.
It's simple. Listen, I just told you why we should. I just told you why we should.
I'm offering. If you look at the last 60-something years of politics, How anything gets done in this country is through groupthink.
And
It started with the solid majority in the 60s. Then you had the Christian Coalition with Falwell and those guys in the 70s. They had an agenda and they never got off the plan. The LGBTQ, they've had an agenda for a long time that finally had
an agenda.
Black women have been very united and they've gotten gains through the process. So I'm just looking at the receipts of those who, and even Republicans.
It's been very
a lot of Republicans hate 45, hate them. It doesn't represent them. A lot of these ministers, in fact, some of these guys have already given up the game. They made a Faustian deal with him because he promised them that he was going to get them judges to get rid of Roe v. Wade, and they held their nose and they voted together.
Okay.
They always say Republicans, when it comes time to vote, they get in line.
They will.
But we have to fall in love. We got to love it. Obama had it.
Telling
like,
us
oh my
to
gosh,
do.
I've never heard someone speak as well as
us to
he
fall
did.
in love with each other so we can get in line and walk like robots down
I'm
the
just
block.
saying we need to get it. I'm just saying
if you're pissed at
in line and they've gotten the results.
The illegal immigrant problem, don't vote for the Democrats at the local level. Right, the mayor of New York, the mayor of Chicago slapped you in the face, knocked you down, pissed on your back like Shogun, and you guys are still wanting to vote for him. How much shit do you need? I mean, what kind of plan do you need? You're looking right at the people, smack you in the face, and we need to sit down and make a coalition? I mean, that's all I'm saying. You don't need too much more evidence. We have been voting for Democrats for 50 years. And so what? Black women are happy and shit, man. They get Section 8, welfare, checks and shit. They don't, they get DEI so they can replace men in the workforce. That's fine because some of them belong there. Great. But they still don't know cognitive dissonance that, hey, if you replace men in the workforce, you ain't going to have as many men making enough money to take care of you because you got the goddamn job. So that's part of it too. So I'm just saying, we don't need to go through all that. If you want to keep voting for Democrats, unless we have some cogent plan not to, then just vote for the Democrats.
You're gonna have to have one.
No, we don't. We just need to know what we don't like. We got these mayors and these blacks, and we got people walking into stores, stealing shit in stores with they removed all the criminality is running rampant in the blue states. How much more do you need to know?
Listen, I get what you're saying. Listen. I get what you're saying, but my point to you is first and foremost, who are you talking to? Secondly, what message are you going to get across to them so they can understand what you understand?
I just gave you the message.
No, listen, you gave me the message. I'm asking you if you wanted to be. Don't you have to do it?
Here's how I do it. You ask me a question, I'm giving you an answer. I'm doing what I can. I got 16 videos on my goddamn channel saying why we should divest from the Democratic Party. If one person sees it, great. If 10 people see it, great. I'm not going to go outside and say, listen, I don't give this shit. Where I'm at right now, if the black people don't understand that we've been grifted for like 50 years, so we should all burn in hell, man. I don't care no more. I'm just saying, we know these guys are using us, abusing us. We don't need to have a coalition and shit. We need to just get them out of office. That'll be enough sea change to actually begin to do something, except spending all this time talking about the shit. If the Democrats lose because of us, black men, then we can sit down and say, well, you know what? Now we got a plan. And then we can start thinking about making an independent party because we don't like Republicans either. And then maybe when they know that we're going to be 50-50 in the polls, we can start saying what kind of things that we need as black men and as men in general that will benefit us if you want our vote. Then I can sit down and do some group think. But right now, we just don't need to vote for these assholes. We don't have to think about it. Just don't vote for them.
Listen, let me give y'all a little refresher. Okay.
Loss, you want to do the supers after this?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Politics is real simple. You know what I mean? Vote against what you don't want. I'll give you an example. This week, Star Wars put out a trailer for the Acolyte. Now, when it first came out, that thing had 100 and some odd thousand upvotes and like 600,000 downvotes. You know why? Because the Star Wars people are mad as hell. You know what I'm saying?
What I said.
They got another chick flick of Star Wars, and the people are tired of them messing up their damn Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? They'd have wielded out the Marvels. Nobody wanted to see that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to see that. So guess what? Them people did not go to the box office. They said, we are not spending our money on this BS. So now what happened was Disney tried to spin it. They put some robots out there to run the likes up, you know, so to don't make it look so bad. You can run the likes up all you want to. People are not going to spend their money watching this foolishness. They're tired of it. And here's the thing, all it takes is a bunch of people saying, we're tired of this. We're not going to do it. That's basically politics in a nutshell. And it don't have to be the people who voted down did not even have to agree. They didn't have a meeting about it. You know what I'm saying? All of them got together and just say, you know what? I don't want this. Down vote.
Thank you.
We don't want that.
I mean. JT, I didn't mean to yell on the screen.
We don't want
exactly what I mean. We know what's wrong already. We don't need to meet on that. That's all I'm saying. Think
about it, man. Think about our pain. I'm just using Disney as an example because it's real easy. If you look at Disney's stock prices, it is plummeting because they keep putting out crap movie after crap movie after crap movie. And what happens is this week, the head stockholder was like, you know what, Bob Iger, you need to fix this. You need to fix it, buddy. You and Kathleen Kennedy got to go. Man, do you know South Park is making all kind of jokes about this? Talking about take a chick in it and put it in it and make it lame. You know what I'm saying? And they're running with that thing. That was their battle cry. It was Eric Cartman telling them to stick a chick in it and make it lame. And every time they'll roll out a Disney movie, they'll roll that same little meme out. And what did Disney do with the accolades? They stuck a chick in it and they made it lame. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what these people did was they went and they said, no, we just gonna downvote this thing. Right. We're gonna do it. Yeah, and here's the thing: you don't necessarily have to agree. Think about it. It's people who didn't like the Marvels, they tanked it, they didn't spend their money on it. It was people who didn't like the acolytes. Guess what? They let them know we don't want this. Do you know they went back and made them reshoot Captain America with Anthony Mackie in it because they had some funny business going on, and the people who watched the private screening walked out on them. It was like, we don't want to see this. So guess what they did? They went back and they took out all the scenes that people didn't like, and they made them rewrite the whole entire script. They're rewriting that whole movie because these people said, we don't want to see that. Do you know how bad you have to be to make somebody walk out on a private screening? That's unheard of. Usually people want to stick around and see what happens to them. They was like, we don't want to see no more. So the people don't want to pay for this. But so basically, that's what our paying is saying. Is that we don't necessarily have to agree.
It may work in a movie. I don't know if it works in real life because again, the consequences for is infinitely greater than just not liking a film or a project.
Right.
And these people are spending their money that people would put. But this is the thing. They care about that, right? So they will invest. People will invest in that.
Right.
The problem with that and comparing that to politics is that majority of people don't care about politics. They're not putting their money where their mouth is.
Yes, they do.
No, they're not. You don't have a bunch of people because if that was the case, they would do politics the same way that they would do Disney. The same way. If
Disney is politics.
Listen what I'm telling you. If you have a city where your city is unrighteously arresting men, black men, women, whatever the fuck it is, and you voted these folks in, you voted the sheriff in, you voted the deputy, you voted the mayor, you voted everybody that was on city council, you put money to help people campaign when they were doing it. When you put your hard-earned money out there and you see that these people ain't doing what the fuck they supposed to do, then you will start doing it. The problem is that you don't have people that are doing it. You have a small minority that are supporting politicians. You don't have the majority that's doing it.
Now I will tell you this, JT. I will tell you this.
People don't know anything about politics, and they don't care anything about politics.
JT, I will tell you this. Yes, they do. I've seen several times where politicians have been recalled in the middle of their term, saying you got to go. If they mess up bad enough, these people will have a recall election to get your tail up out of here. We don't exercise that enough.
No, but again, that I think people certainly respond more to if you're going to inflict on them, but to have an interest.
Right.
Like if you're a Star Wars fan, you're a fan. You're buying everything, the merch, everything. But even the last election we had had the highest turnout ever.
Right.
And it was still less than 50% of those who were eligible to vote. So again, people, I think to his point, I think most people are and becoming more and more apathetic about voting, period. We already have half the people out, and the ones that are voting, seem to, have some concerns about it. But
right.
that's a very low, that's still a very low turnout of people who are eligible to vote who do not. And I don't see how that's good for society either when you have half your population doesn't vote. And what I really don't like is when you have systems or you have initiatives to limit voting.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, the question's always been who is doing the most to keep people from voting. I think voting should be a national holiday. I think everyone should get the day off, paid time off, allow mail-in, electronic, find the security to make it secure, whatever. But the polls, the everything. If we say it's that important, and to think about that, people I think want people more so than anything to be apathetic and not get involved.
Right.
And I think it's growing, certainly with black men. I'm seeing that again, and we're hearing it, that guys just are not caring. But I'm saying if your vote is that unimportant, then why are all these efforts, especially in these southern states, why so much to do the redistricting and all these things to limit the power of the black vote if your vote doesn't matter?
There you go.
So for me, again, in terms of voting in my interests, I'm definitely not voting for those who try to restrict and limit voting rights from people. To me, that's a sign of really where the enemy is, that they don't want us involved.
Yes.
And as long as this conversation goes on, it's like, I don't care. I just want to I'm going to sit this one out. I think that's for a lot of these people. Again, understand the checkers that's being played. They would rather keep as many people off the field and unengaged than those who are actually in the field. Yeah. And if last election didn't tell you that you still got less than 50% of the people to vote, that what's really going on is that they want the control to be in the hands of the few, not the many.
Now, I will tell you this, Mr. Bennett, to the contrary to that, to the opposite side of that, I don't like it when they let illegal people come in and let them vote and they don't have a vested interest. You see what I'm saying? That's my whole thing right there. You can't just open up the field because you hear that the black folks ain't going to vote for you and you go get somebody else and say, hey, we're going to pull some other folks off the field and bring them in. If you ain't going to vote for us, we'll find some people that will. Matter of fact, we'll put them up in hotels. We'll bust them in. Yeah. We'll let them through the fence. We'll tear down the fence or whatever, and we'll let them vote, and they will vote against us.
But to that point, don't you find it a bit specious that you have two groups of people who have, if anything, polar opposites on views and everything?
Correct.
Who should be in lockstep in this, but not. You have white people who are talking about this great replacement strategy to replace them. And as our Payne shared earlier tonight, there's black people who believe that the people are coming to replace us.
Right.
So that's two coalitions who couldn't disagree more on a topic, but nobody wants to form a coalition to say, look, we need to stop what is going on, because this is, if both people are thinking that these folks are trying to replace both of us, but we so mad at each other that we can't form a block to say, hey, we need to solve this issue, because I think a lot of people is like, it doesn't want to be solved on either side of the party. That's why I'm saying that third rail, that corporate piece, somebody is driving this dysfunction, and it really is almost like it doesn't matter who's in office. But that I think we need to be mindful of, because you have two very distinct groups who are at each other's throats most of the time, but they're saying the same thing, that someone's trying to replace us, but there's no action being done.
Right. But my whole thing is I just want the game to be level and right. You just can't just wheel people in here through the fence and just say, hey, y'all come on here and vote, and you ain't documented. But at the same time, you got people on the other side of the aisle says, show us your ID. To me, that don't make sense. You got one side saying, show us your ID, and you got another side, hey, you don't need no ID. Just go
and you need a photo ID
vote.
too, not just any.
Correct.
Photo ID.
So, but the replacement theory, I mean, I hear different things, and I'll be real quick because Trey's up here. One, we are talking about being replaced by illegal immigrants. White people are worried about being replaced by us. So that's why we have a miscommunication. And I think the Jewish people are thinking about being replaced by somebody else because they have a issue with the replacement theory. It has nothing to do with America. It has everything to do with more like their power structure.
Well, I can't see how that other side be fearful of being replaced by us because our population hasn't grown.
No, but
since we've been here. We've always been
our
13,
population is
14%.
growing, and
No, it hasn't.
they call
Not
us
to the,
people of color
not
now,
to the
right?
level
Because
that people should be fearful.
they call us people of color. So it's not just black people; it's people with tint in their skin, whatever you are. So
But
those
that
populations are
big
growing.
uptake is for the illegals that are coming, the undocumented that are coming in.
Listen, I'm telling you. Matter of fact, I heard there's some new statistics that the actual population of black folks has gone up from 13 or 14% recently. So,
but that's still some of these other populations have doubled.
no, but we can't say they're not increasing.
It's not even comparable.
Slow, but
and it's still below where we need to be. If black people get our act together, we should have been 20-25%. But
I agree with that. But you know why? We know why we're down there. You don't want to broach that subject, but you know why we're down there. We're deleting all the kids. So anyway, at the certain level. So anyway, go ahead, Trey. What's going on, man?
Ladies and gentlemen, everybody, welcome to the stage. Trey in the building.
I haven't seen you in a minute, brother. It's good to see you.
Good evening.
What up, Trey? I know you've been watching, man. What's up, man? What you got to add to the gumbo, brother?
I mean, I'm not black, so I won't be voting Democrat at all. I've never voted Democrat at all. I never will. It's very obvious what the Democrats do year in and election in and election out to the black community. Unfortunately, we're just not bright enough to figure it out on our own. I used to have to work overtime on November 4th, and I would see lines and lines and lines of black people standing out in front of these voting centers. I remember one time they brought everybody in line Popeyes. They brought everybody in the line Popeyes because they've been standing out there for so long. I'm all for an independent party, but I think that the black community's number one goal has to be to get to the money. You can't affect any change unless there's money behind this. And a lot of the times where these other communities beat us is that they can go to a bank and go get money for a campaign and lobby and do these things and change the thought process of voters. We don't seem to have that control because we don't have any money. So until we get there, it all sounds good, but we're fighting an uphill battle by being the brokest. And it's just not going to help us. I'm all for the independent party are paying, but where's the money coming from?
I'm with you. I don't know. Maybe we get some ideas if we could break the back of the Democrats. Maybe some ideas will start to come to us. Because right now that cloud is strong.
Well, here's the thing: we can't do nothing divided. We got to fix this thing between black men and black women and get on the same lockstep. You see what I'm saying? Because if you look at the landscape, is a little bit different this year. Black men are probably going to vote their own best interests, and I assure you, they're not aligning with the women. You know what I mean? I can tell you all day long how the women gonna vote, but if you have a private conversation with the men, they're gonna tell you we're gonna vote differently this year. They will tell you that. So my question is, Trey, how do you get those two diametrically opposed people together to form this super third party to sway the vote either way? How are we gonna do that?
I hate to say it because it would go against my belief in marriage, but you gotta get married. That's the only answer. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's just the truth, right? That the only way to fix that is black men and black women get married and get on the same page politically.
Right.
And as much as I'm against it, that is the only answer. I will say this, that when we talk about groupthink, if that is the idea going forward, if we're going to push black marriages to help our political stance and help our financial stance, and that's something I can get behind. I can get behind that because that benefits all of us. That benefits all of us. Nobody loses if that's the thought process, if that's how we go at it. But unfortunately, this gynocracy or gynocentric country that we live in at the moment, like you said, you know which way women are going to vote. We all know which way I won't say all, but majority of women are going to vote. We know which way they're going to vote. I think the only thing to change that is to get a strong man in the home who can show the woman that voting Democrat is a mistake and don't do it. And he can actually explain it to her in terms she can understand, and she can actually trust his leadership. But unfortunately, we have a majority of our women that don't trust our leadership and are going to vote more so with their heart than with their head.
Absolutely. Here's my thing. I don't think that we have these kitchen table conversations between men and women like we should. We throw around terms like conservative and liberal, but do we really actually talk about what that means? You see what I'm saying? As it relates to who you are. So I think we probably need to start sitting down and having those particular conversations, because if you sit down and you talk to most Black people, based upon what they do in their life, most Black people are conservative. But all day long, they'll vote against their own best interests. You see what I'm saying? Every day, all day long. So it's more of an educational thing once you think about it. You know, Grace, I'm going to get you in here because you've been awfully quiet tonight. What do you think that Black men and Black women should do to come together to harness their electoral power in this season, in this election season?
I think we need to do more research. We need to educate each other more, and really have, like you just said, the sit downs, talk. I mean, we'll stand in line for Black Friday, we'll stand in line for new Jordans, but we won't stand in line to vote. And I've heard a lot of people, I'm not voting, and you guys just gave me a great rebuttal tonight. Now I know how to rebuttal that. You're giving them exactly what they want, for you to stay home and not vote. So they're already won, and it's really sad. And I wanted to ask you guys a question. What if a Black party was created? Do you think that would be possible? I mean, just a melanated, like, you can't say Black, a melanated party, just a melanated party. You think that would be possible?
Our Mr. Bennett, y'all gonna answer that?
You got too many problems there. We can't even get united on the Black issue. And the melanated issue, that's an issue also. Blacks and Latinos are fighting each other. You know, so again, it's a whole lot with that. If
we have to unite first. I mean, we have to have some type of unification.
Right, Grace, what you need is you need a public incident to happen to force people to have to work together. So I'll give you an example. 9/11. When 9/11 happened, you start to see Americans, regardless of color of skin, start to work together, right? Because at the end of the day, we are all Americans, right? So what you're going to need is you're going to need something that pushes Black women and Black men into a situation where we got to work together now. We don't really have a choice, because Black women are being attacked and Black men are being attacked. Until we get to that point, it's more about timing. It's if that situation happens, we got to be ready. You got to jump on it immediately. You cannot miss that opportunity to unite. I think a lot of the times we miss that opportunity as a community to unite, and that's why we can't get this party. Anything is possible, Grace, you know that, but the probability is probably very low unless the timing is good.
So the Trey says something good, right? And maybe it's a catastrophe, or maybe it's a lost election because Black men didn't vote for Democrats in 2024, and all of a sudden the Democrats lose power, and the place turns too red, because that's probably not a good thing either. And then we start thinking a little differently because we have to. And matter of fact, then we'll get a chance to see if we thrive in a conservative state, because I don't think we're going to do that bad if. No matter who's in office, if you have the right, Black people didn't die when Trump was in office, no matter how much of a crook he was. And if the pandemic didn't hit in 2020, he probably would have won again. You know, so all I'm just trying to say is, I think we're more resilient than you think. But to your question about coalitions, I don't think we should have a Black coalition or a melanated coalition. I think we should have issues. When that go to Mr. Bennett saying, we should look at issues that cut across all lines, because now we have we can have issues that cut across the whole diaspora, and now we have some. At least we have numbers, right? We're buffered by whites who agree with certain things. Asians, don't have to be everything. Now that's the kind of coalition we have, but we need a catalyst for that stuff, right? So I mean, I think like I said, there's already some issues that men in general have across racial lines that I think we should be more in lockstep with. That's the only way we can get laws changed. It can't just be black men trying to change them. It has to be men.
Arpain, are you overly optimistic that white men, Indian men, are going to want to help us?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm just saying that's why it may never happen. What I'm just saying is I know that if it was just black people, we don't have enough numbers to make that kind of change, unless we have a party that we do not vote for either Democrats or Republicans, because at best we could do is split the vote between the two of them, whoever has our best plans.
Hey, Lost.
And I would like to just get there first.
Lost, you know what our issue is?
What's that?
We don't have anything that other communities have to come to that we
I
can
say
use
that
as a bargaining chip.
I say that all the time.
We don't have any.
Right.
Know that when you need certain things, if anybody need a bank loan, you know which community you got to go get a bank loan. Right? We don't have that thing that we could use to say, hey, we'll give you this, but we need you to vote this way.
We don't have leverage.
We don't have any leverage, Grace. None,
you know what?
Because the only thing we have
did we do those
is
super chats yet?
entertainment, but we don't even control the entertainment.
No, we don't.
Nope. And when we try to, they delete us or put us in jail, or bring us down. I mean, look at Byron Allen, Tyler Perry, Cosby, when they were trying to buy the networks. They're not going to let us have it.
We have to find some sort of trade that we can conquer as a community, that other communities have to come to us. They got to go through us to get it. That way we can have something. Until then, as I said, this is a lot more difficult than people think. This isn't 1 + 1 = 2 simple math. This is damn geometry mixed with trigonometry with a little flavor of calculus at the end. Like, this is difficult when you really break this down, and especially considering we don't have anything to say, hey, well, you can't get that unless you talk to us first.
Or it's not.
You know what? Before we go ahead, take heed. We're gonna come back. We're gonna make sure we get the super chats out the way, and then we're gonna give the mic to you. Okay. The first one we're gonna have is from Hink in the basement. He says, "Good evening, family. $2 super chat. Thank you, sir." And we also got $2 from Scorch Earth. Anyone see what? Go ahead and run that back.
You gotta read it.
Anyone see the stocks fall with Planet Fitness? Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Yep.
Planet Fatness.
That's right.
Planet Fatness.
I added it to my portfolio. Thank you, trans community. I appreciate you.
They're gonna be back. They'll be back January. You know what I'm saying? We also got a $2 super chat from Lady Navarre. Let's go. She said, "Roll call for me." Scorched Earth. I wanted it like Diddy, trolling like 50 Cent, and hiding like Jay-Z, and trying not to get locked up like R. Kelly. Ain't got no money like Bill Cosby. All right, that's what I'm talking about.
Damn.
Real Bravado Network. He sent us $5. He says, "Killed it on the Might Be Risky YouTube channel. Take heed. Celebrate what he said. Discover." Oh, that's right. Thank you. Do we got any more super chats? Is that it? He got $2 from Scorch Earth. He says, "Stop giving out my government name. I wanted it." Very good. And also we did Marriage, Politics, and Sport gave out $5. And then also we have Real Bravado. We're going to go ahead and get the super chat game going. And we're going to bring in Brother Lightfoot again one more time. Yes, if I can find him. And we're going to run him back one more time. What a pass that. I know he's here somewhere. Bishop Goodfoot coming right up, y'all.
Find him.
And we're going to get back to Take Heed.
In the club, jumping up and down like it's payday. Party all night.
He tired.
You know what? He jumped. We're gonna run it back one more time. Yo, Pastor had the kids in the background jumping, man. Before we get started, I want to welcome Information Man to the channel. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Glad to have you back. Take heed. You wanted to say something, man, before we get started. Information Man, we got you. Have to take heed, sir.
So I just wanted to put this little tidbit in here real quick. We do have something in the melanated community, but the problem is we don't know how to hold on to it. I know y'all all know what I'm about to say. It's our money. It's our money. We don't know how to hold on to it. We buy stuff that don't make sense. We buy stuff that do not make sense. And we label ourselves with all these names that don't give a damn about you, that tell you they don't even want you to wear their stuff in the first place. But yet you will still go out and buy it. If we knew how to hold on to our money, okay, as a community, if we knew how to hold our money, that would be some leverage. But we don't. We don't know how to do that at all. We don't know how to do that at all. So, and then also we are, and this is sad to say, but we are conditioned, okay? A lot of us are conditioned to vote Democrat. I grew up like that, to vote Democrat, to see nothing else but Democrat, because Democrats are the ones that do everything for the melanated community. This is what we believe wholeheartedly. But at the same time, they're giving you something, but they're passing laws for something else in the community. So all it is just a cycle that doesn't make sense, because we're voting them in and then they come in and do whatever they want. And when we say, well, this is a problem in our community, they act like they don't hear us until 4 years later. This is when they come with the fried chicken, the saxophone, and the hot sauce. That's just my take on it. I'm done.
Appreciate it.
He was playing that sax though.
He was.
And Joe showed up with the chicken, you know. I like chicken. Information Man, what's going on, sir?
Hey, what's going on?
What's happening, man? I know you've been watching it, man. What's your take on this?
I think that it's time for Black people to make diverse decisions on who we're going to vote for. You're really supposed to vote for your interests, your values, and whether the candidate is Republican or Democrat, if they are providing something that you need or that you hope they're going to provide through legislation, then you're going to go with that. Although there are those that may say that Black people need to leave the Democratic plantation, we have to, what we fail to do a lot is we fail to examine, instead of just talking about the surface stuff, historically, why did Black people start voting for Democrats when originally a lot of our older generation back in the day were conservatives, right? Because now this is the thing. Black people are not conservative because we're conservative politically. We were conservative culturally in our values. But the Republican Party offered something that the Democratic Party didn't offer when it was the Dixiecrats, and they created the Klan, and black people were being lynched in the South. So there's historical reasons why black people have voted Democrat, because remember, the Dixiecrats ran from the Democrats over to the Republican Party. And the Republican Party at one point wasn't offering anything that black people at that time felt was viable to them, as that party began to shift as those Dixiecrats ran over to them. Let's not forget that, okay? Although they are the party that, opened up the doors for some of our options and our rights to certain things, and the Democrats were bullshitting around, we just got to keep that in mind. We also have to keep this in mind that politics is a game. It's not about look, politics. In politics, there are no permanent enemies. There's no permanent friends, only permanent interests. Okay? So whether it's the Democrats or Republicans, they're going to tell you whatever they need to tell you to feed their interest of you voting for them, right? So even if we decide to say, hey, we're finished with the Democrats, right? They've done nothing for us. They're the Democrats. Then I need to know, what does the Republican Klan have to offer us better than the Democrats? Now, we know the Democrats want to bring illegal immigrants over here because they think that they're going to get a big boom in their voting. But a lot of these people that come over from South America, Mexico, a lot of them, for the most part, once they get here and get assimilated, most of them are going to vote. Mostly, they're going to jump over to the conservative side because they have conservative values where they come from. See, but we need to look at, what does the Republican Party, what are they going to offer us too, right? Because everybody, I remember black folks kept touting that Trump had black unemployment at the lowest level. That's been debunked, y'all, by economists, okay? Not me, by economists. We kept thinking that he gave all this money to black colleges, when we found out that a lot of those presidents of those HBCUs, they were mad at Trump because he used them as a photo op. When the students of these historical black colleges said, don't let them use you. And he did. Okay. Now, this is not to say that the Democrats have been any better for us, but we got two parties and we're always voting for the worst of the evil. But I always believe it's still evil in the end. It's still evil because the dollar is recoverable and people are expendable. So it's only it's two. You got one eagle wing. You got two wings. These guys, they work with each other. Let me ask you a question. Have any of you on the panel been in a restaurant in Washington, D.C. to hear some of what they call the inner belt talk that goes on with these Democrats and Republicans when they get on shows and you think they're at each other's throat? And then when they're at the restaurant drinking wine together, oh, man, you didn't have to be that hard on me, Johnny. Oh, well, right. You know how it is. It's politics. They're playing all of us for fools and twos, folks. The immigration situation has been going on bad for years under both administrations. I'm just laying that out. So while we think things are going to be hunky-dory, we got to also keep our minds open to the fact that both these parties play games, right? Right. But we have to learn how to play the game better because they actually work for us. We don't work for them. And we have to stop letting them think that we work for them, right? And hold them accountable. I think you guys said something powerful tonight. Symbolism. Black people have been bamboozled by symbolism. They gave us Kamala Harris. That was symbolism, right? She's out there in Selma. And if you look at her background and heritage, has no connection to FBA, ADOS, whatever we want to call ourselves. She has no connection to it. It's all for show. While they're supposed to be representing what happened out there, they're talking about Gaza. Bullshit. So the Democrats continue to play these games, right, with us. I think they're going to lose because he's going to lose the young votes. They don't want him. And black folks are fed up. and they're going to keep ushering the Al Sharptons and all these older black folks out here to convince us to give him another chance. But he blew it. And so we have to diverse ourselves. We do. I'll land right there. I know I said a lot, but we have to.
Appreciate the information, man. Antoine, welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks for having me on. Greetings and salutations, everyone.
How are you, sir?
Tired, but I live. I got home from work about a couple minutes ago and everything else. That's why if you see something shining, I'm still wearing my work vest. That's why.
Very good. What you want to add to the pot, man, to the gumbo, man?
Here's the thing. Here's the problem that people keep forgetting. I get what you're saying. Our opinion, I understand what you're saying, diverse from the Democratic Party. The problem is both the Democrats and the Republicans have one thing in common. They don't want any third party to have a seat at the table. Whether it's the Libertarian, whether it's the Green, the No Name, the Freedom, whomever. That's the one thing both Democrats and Republicans can agree upon. They don't want a third party to have a seat at the table. Period. When you look at a lot of these other countries, like Canada, like Great Britain, like France, like Germany, like Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, what's the one thing they all had? They have a multi-party system. Some to the center, some center left, some center right, some far left, some far right. You have a significant amount of options. We haven't had a political party in our country, a third party that had some significance since the Whig Party. That's the problem. We haven't had a third party or any other party that have some type of weight that's not either associated with the Dems or the GOP. And that's been a problem going on for so long. And they don't want that. Plain and simple. They don't want that. What's up?
Not really a pushback, but I want to educate you on something. Do you know what's going on in Great Britain right now with you said they have multiple parties over there. You're absolutely right. I think the people that are actually like in power, like we have over here with Democrats and Republicans, they actually don't like those other parties. They do everything they can to undermine them the same way that third parties are undermined in this country. Even though they got all these different parties over there, there's still two parties that control power in Great Britain or in the UK, because those other parties, they don't want in power. There's a guy over there, I can't think of his name. He comes from one of those independent parties in the UK, and they're already trying to figure out how they can discredit him because they're shocked that he got so far, right? To be a challenger, to be a prime minister, right? So they play those games in the UK too, even though there's a lot of parties, they still play the same games we play over here in America.
So let me chime in real quick. Oh, I'm sorry, man. You got more?
No, I'll stop right there. Or Payne, go ahead, brother.
Here's my thing on this whole thing. Listen, I think the fastest growing group of voters are the independent voters. I think there's a lot more people on the fence nowadays than ever before. And so one of the things that would change before change happens, it maybe doesn't happen like in a revolutionary fashion. It might be evolutionary. But we can't convince ourselves that we're in a point where shit can never change because we're stuck. Our country is based on change. Some things happen over years, some things don't. Blacks, like your information man came on and said, we converted from Republicans to Democrats in like a drop of a hat. So what I'm just trying to say is, if we keep telling ourselves that nothing else could change, it won't. Right. And so there could be some a beacon of hope in the fact that people are starting to say neither party is serving my needs. And so they're in line. If somebody who could stand up, I don't care what color the person is, can stand up and hit those people who are independent, things might change. Things might begin to change. We might lose an election or two at certain levels. But if that persistence keeps coming, who knows? We just can't give up hope that we got to be stuck with these two bozo parties, every year. All I know is this, and I'm gonna land it here. I know because I really didn't disagree with JT or Mr. Bennett. You know, it's good to have coalitions, but I think it's real simple for us. I think a sea change for the Democrats is to lose election because black men decided not to vote for them this election for whatever reason. That will make people start to ask why. And then when that why gets out there, then people can start to take advantage of why, because now we have an opportunity to tell them why. And what we do with that is going to be up to us. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's not going to make them appeal to black men.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, we get a chance to we have a reason to say we're up to
My goodness.
Hey,
the thing is that that's not going to make them want to appeal to black men. They're just going to go harder at black women.
Well, yeah, that's fine. But well, listen, black. You know, I hate to say this to the sisters up. Black women are a lost cause when it comes to this party right now. I think some of them will start to come around because I'm starting to see black women come around. I'm seeing more and more black women who want to divest from the Democratic Party for their own reasons, not for men, but for their own reasons. Because some of the things that's going on is not good for them, and some black women actually see that.
I want to ask the gentleman in the chat room. He's from the UK. He says that the UK doesn't damage their third parties. He said no, they don't gerrymander like we do in America. Yeah, we do gerrymander. And I wanted to ask him if he could put it in the chat. Who's the gentleman? I think he's in one of those third. You guys have so many parties over there. Who's the gentleman over there, the man over there who is sort of shocking the world over there, right? He's from the grassroots. Who's the name of, he's a white guy. What's his name, Dino? Because I can't think of his name, but they're trying to discredit him because they're shocked that he's going against the status quo and he's winning. So if you could put that in the chat, because I can't think of his name. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Let me ask R. Payne. He's the elder statesman on the panel. You know, we got different generations of young people that's coming along, and they're not feeling Biden. You know what I'm saying? Do you think this will change as we get more and more generations? Because, you know, for lack of a better word, generations are going to die off. Right. And younger generations are going to eventually take over. And these kids that are coming up, they have a whole different way they look at things. So when Embrace the Grace, and very nice to see you to be on the panel with you. She says something about a melanated coalition, right? I think that I can see that happening with this younger generation who go to school together. They're getting married. You got more interracial relationships happening now, and their kids are going to be mixed. I see America possibly being very different in the future, and the politics could very well become different because you're going to have more people with a mixture of different culture in them. I don't know if that even makes sense.
No, it does.
It does.
I hope so.
But I think the values that a lot of people talk about, I think their values are certainly very different from X's and boomers. Okay, so for a lot of them, they're for a lot of the agendas that a lot of folks you see in these spaces don't talk about. So, you know, I can't see those people certainly going conservative. That's for sure.
But I think what the problem also is.
Go ahead.
I think the problem also is you got too many politicians who've been in power for so damn long. They feel like it's their birthright to be there and it's their right to die there. Let's be honest. Let's look at some politicians that have been there for so fucking long.
I want Clyburn came out of the womb in Congress, didn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Strom Thurmond is one. Richard Byrd is another. Ted Stevens, Trent Lott, Dianne Feinstein, Dianne Feinstein.
Well, she's gone. She passed away, right? Didn't she?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. You got, but that's the problem. You got politicians in their 70s, in their 80s, in their 90s. Fucking Strom Thurmond was what, 101, 102 when he died?
That man. Yeah.
Why the fuck is this going on? That's the problem. Because they feel like it's their birthright. They feel like it's their fucking birthright to be in these positions for the last 40 or 50 years.
Well, what did that gentleman just say? In America, we have gerrymandering. One reason why these people stay in power is because they jigsaw their district. They make the district, they change the district to make it more favorable for them, right? Every couple of years, both the Democrats and Republicans both do this. They both run the same game, right? And then the same people get in office. Clyburn is the one that I got the most problem with. He's been in office for decades. And all you gotta do is go to South Carolina, where he represents, and see how black folks and people are living there. While he keeps telling us to vote for Biden and singing us to sleep, right? So these type of individuals are the ones that's not giving us any progress when we got to get rid of them.
So this is my question. Are those people that are in politics, are they voted in?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So
Yes,
the
sir.
problem is not
Yeah.
them. The problem is us.
Right.
Well,
You gotta
At the
get
end
rid
of
of
the
them.
day,
kind of
it is
half
their
right. Again,
birthright to
that's
be there as
halfway
long as
right.
we're
That's
there.
half right.
Halfway
Because
right.
again,
It
the
is half right.
That's one
gerrymandering,
portion
the
of
way
it,
they
yeah.
changed,
I just said that.
the way they changed districts up to limit certainly the demo, and that, certainly it's in the southern states. The only reason I'm talking about the southern states because again, there have been Supreme Court cases where again, Alabama, for example, they had to the court had to make them reshape their districts because they were doing stuff illegally. Same thing happened in Virginia. Again, a lot of these southern states now they have these super majorities of Republicans. So again, that's my concern about again, if you divest altogether, the Republicans always showed their hand in terms of what they do when they get power. They consolidate it and they create these super majorities that you may not be able to come back from. So you say, okay, we give them everything. They then rig the game where nobody get in. So what makes you think that we can then come back and put anything back? Because then, and what reason would they have to talk to us? Because they have the super majorities. They don't need us.
Exactly.
But I say this is the reason why I say it's our problem, right? We don't have a lot of people that are invested in politics. I keep telling y'all this.
No, you're true. That's very true. And to that point, and basically I said earlier, 50% come out for the presidential election. In the states, it's under 20. For your governor is under 20%. And it just goes less and less down the line. So so again, the level of just apathy across the board is such.
It's high. Yep.
Where people are just, and you wonder why so few people control so much. Because again, you're not even working on the local level to know what's going on.
Right.
Well, you got to think about this when you got black families pushing their kids to be basketball players and football players. You ain't pushing them to be politicians. You're not pushing them to be lawyers. You're not pushing them to be businessmen. We're talking about, hey, make sure you run your 40 time in 4.2 seconds. That's what we care about. So unless we are willing to change the direction of which we push our children at a very young age, this is just going to continue. These same families are going to continue to put these kids through the cycle because they're raising their kids to be the next mayor and the next governor and the next senator. And I say that having a former congressman in my family is now the Attorney General of Maryland, and his daughter is at Stanford right now. And guess what she's preparing to do? Go right into politics.
Yep.
She's been raised that way. So if you're not going to start from the very beginning pushing them into politics, we're going to have more of the same. We got to get the black people got to get out of the entertainment world. We got to get out of the entertainment world and get more into being grown-ups and adults and having an effect on the world.
The money's not there though, Trey.
That's the most.
I'm gonna help y'all out. Y'all got
And that's the problem.
But here's the thing. Let me introduce.
That's the problem.
Hold on a second, Antoine. Let me introduce something to the conversation that I don't think anybody mentioned. Everybody's picking the politicians. Well, my thing is this: who's paying the politicians? It's not us.
That's how you pick them.
No, let me finish.
Let
me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. It's the corporations.
I mentioned that
who
a long
need to
time
deal
ago.
with.
I said that's the third rail.
We said that.
But here's the thing. We're worrying about who we're going to put in office. When they get in there, they're going to do the same thing that the other ones have been doing. But the problem is you have to make sure these corporations are held accountable because that's where the money is. When these people put their money into these stocks, they want a return on the investment. So guess what? They're going to tell these people that's above in these corporations, hey, I need you to go over there. I need you to talk to X, Y, and Z over here in the Republican Party or X, Y, Z over here in the Democratic Party. I need you to push this. It ain't so much as they're listening to the people. They'll grandstand for us and act like they're fighting like in wrestling or whatever. But in essence, what we're doing is we're fighting the wrong people. That's rule number 19 in the 48 Laws of Power. Know who you're dealing with. Right. You see what I'm saying? I'm here to tell you that the wizard is behind the curtain is the corporations. Indeed. You see what I'm saying?
100. Why you want to mess with my money though?
I'm trying to help you with your money, man.
Why you want to mess
and lost.
I didn't do nothing to you, Law.
Right.
I'm trying to help you with your money.
We talked about strategy. So again, especially because a lot of people seem to have an issue with cancel culture.
Right.
As a tactic, I love cancel culture. I think it's a great. I think as a tool, I think it's great. But so many people anti-cancel culture. But a lot of times, especially when it comes to these corporations, look what happened with Bud Light. Look what happened, in other entities. So again, you have to be I would think you would have to be an advocate for its use and lobby for it if you want to impact or have force these corporations to change how they do things. So, what if not that? Then what would be your strategy for engaging corporations?
I'll give you an example.
The changes that you're
I'll give you an example. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes, sir.
I was watching TikTok the other day, and there was this gentleman. He made a list of who owns what in the stores, these major corporations, and he color coded this picture. About 90% of everything on the shelves are owned by basically the same 3 or 4 companies. They just called it. And then what he did was he had another section that said that were at the bottom. These people are mom and pop stores. My thing is this: it shouldn't be that way. We should have more of us in business instead of these major corporations. That's the main reason why we have 1 or 2 different farming corporations that do our meat. And I found out that 2 of them are foreign. There's a company that is in Brazil that owns half of a quarter of our beef. And then there's a company in China that actually controls 25% of our beef. So half of our meat industry is ran by foreign entities. I don't know about y'all, but that to me sounds like some type of homeland security issue. You see what I'm saying? That's a national threat. But my thing is this: if we had more people in business for themselves, then we wouldn't have these mega corporations pulling and voting against our own best interests. So my thing is this: it's actually up to us to educate and say, hey, make a concerted effort and say, when I go to the store, I'm not going to buy from Kellogg's. I'm going to buy from our Payne cereal store. You see what I'm saying? And then what our Payne will do is he'll put people that he works for to business. You see what I'm saying? And then that way he can employ people.
Like,
go ahead, Anton.
It's not just where you go to the store. I didn't mean to cut you off, Mr. Better. Apologies, but it's not just the corporation. It's not just like what items you buy at the store.
Antoine, you're breaking up, man.
Like I feel
Antoine, you're breaking up.
I apologize.
You're breaking up. Antoine, you're breaking up.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little better.
Damn.
Up, no, it dropped off again.
Our Payne, go ahead, sir. You want to say something?
No, I'm just listening right now. I'll catch up.
I wanted to say something though.
Go ahead, JT.
We can't get past what we have to do first and foremost, and this is why I keep saying it. First thing is first. We keep looking at this as black folks. We think that black is a community. It's not. It's not a community. What are you going to do for the black people? This is why we are still going to be at the end, because we don't have enough black people that are involved in their own shit. It works when we're mostly involved. We're not. When you're talking about these, like the things that you guys are saying right now, young folks should be saying these things. So we know that if we understand that propaganda is a problem, if we understand that corporations are a problem and all these different things, then wouldn't it be better for us to have the young folks to be able to say it? First and foremost, it's not just
already know it.
Let me stop with that. They already doing it.
They already know it. They talk about it on TikTok. These kids are more informed today than we think they are.
They're informed, but they're not making any.
JT, let me give you the JT. I can give you an example. I'll give you. Matter of fact, I can
I don't think so.
JT, hold on a second. Let me give you 2 examples before you get started.
I think these kids today are more woke than many of us was at their age, because they have more access to information than ever before. Why do you think they want
social media?
Why do you think they're trying to shut down TikTok? Because a lot of these kids are on TikTok telling the truth about what's going on in the world.
Hold on.
Information. They're not trying to shut it down. They're not. This is a move again. This is a corporate.
That's what they
move.
want you to think, though, JT.
JT,
they really want to stop
information.
information.
It won't get shut down.
JT, what I'm saying to you, they want to.
It's just going to go from one hand to the next.
No,
JT,
let me give you. JT, let me give you an example.
They try to suppress us on YouTube.
Information man, JT. Let me give y'all 2 examples. There's
I've been
a young
at this
man
game too long.
Let me explain something to you. I'll give you 2 examples. Both of them are on TikTok. 2 black brothers. One guy has an acne company that he has with the little thing you scrub your face with or whatever. He actually is working with Chinese manufacturers to get his product made over there and sent over here. A young black brother. This guy's like around about 25 years old. There's another young black guy who has these elastic shoelaces for your tennis shoes so you don't have to take them off or whatever. He actually has a factory in China. You see what I'm saying? So this is actually a global thing. Since he can't get anybody to do anything over here, these young men have already figured the game out. They actually have whole entire businesses overseas, and they're bringing this stuff over here. So as far as the young people, saying about, hold on a second, let me finish, bro. No. Here's the thing: all it takes is one, and they're giving these other people ideas to say, "Hey, you don't have to wait on black folks to come together. You can do this for yourself." You see what I'm saying? It's one thing to say people, only small people doing it. All does it take one person? I'll give you an example. I'll give you one example. Jeff Bezos started in his garage by himself. Now look at Amazon, one of the largest logistics companies in the world.
Same thing with Microsoft, Bill Gates.
Same thing with Apple.
They all started off out of a garage.
In the same results that we have is getting worse. Our pain was just saying it. The first thing that he was saying was what? Stop being invested in fucking and damn Democrats. Guess what people are still doing? They're being invested in Democrats. They're not doing it consciously. They're doing it because the majority is just doing what the fuck they doing.
Right.
We don't have a lot. We don't have a large.
But JT,
we're not talking about
Democrats.
We're
talking
talking
about young people. JT,
business.
right now, can I just say this?
Go
right
ahead.
now, statistically, they've already been talking about this on mainstream news, social media, everywhere. The Democrats are losing the young black vote, and they're losing the young white vote and Asian vote. These younger kids, the Z generation, these younger kids are sick of the Democratic Party. They don't like what's happening in Gaza, and he's not getting their vote. So I get what you're saying, JT. But remember, historically, everything starts off very small. It always takes a small group of people to build a movement.
No, this is the problem, y'all.
Okay.
It's going to repeat itself because they know nothing about history. It's going to repeat itself. They're going to do the same thing that's already been done before.
The older black people are going to vote for them.
Listen, we had so many black folks that invented shit. We had so many black folks that did a lot of shit, right?
And they got their patents
know this
stolen.
about history, right?
Yes,
we
sir.
have a lot of black folks that have we know this, that they broke into politics, and they did it they just got the one movie on Netflix about old girl, Shirley, right?
Yeah, Shirley.
How many people actually are taking that and saying, okay, we're going to take that as an example? How many people are looking at reading books or looking at documentaries and saying, we're going to take that as an example? They're not. They're doing the same thing. They're going to keep repeating it. At the end of the day, somebody just brought up.
The only people that keep repeating the same thing are older black people. But the younger black people not feeling it.
And guess what hold on. Guess what the younger black people end up being, Misinformation Man?
Yes, sir.
Older black people. That's what they end up being.
Yes,
and guess what they're going to end up doing? Because they know nothing about history.
But wait a minute, JT. You read
the same thing
JT,
that the generation before them.
Okay.
JT, this is what they're going to do. This is what the Democrat Party will do, JT. It's very simple. They probably will lose this election. They'll find a young, black, hip candidate to push out there in 2028.
To appeal to the young youth.
And they'll get all those voters right back.
Well,
that's if they make changes to make sure.
What they're going to do.
Isn't this year. The true test is in 28 and in 32.
What they're going to do is they're going to get those two young guys from Tennessee. What's that noise in the background? Somebody flushing a toilet? Come on, man. Damn.
That was a double one, too, so you know it's...
Wow.
That was a hell of a
Somebody shitting on the damn channel.
Courtesy flush. That sounds like a courtesy flush somewhere.
Basically, you got those two young guys in Tennessee that did that protest out there in Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
The dude with the afro. They're gonna pull out those guys. They're gonna be at the convention in Chicago, and they're gonna try to use those guys to appeal to young people. But what I'm saying to you, JT, you're right. Young people become old people. But if the young people today have a different mindset from the older people of yesteryears, they're not going to vote the same. The generation of yesteryears did not have access to the information that these kids have today. They are not as computer savvy and technically savvy. These kids are a lot more savvy than you think they are. They have access to information.
But information, man, can I ask you a question?
And so with that information, that will help them to inform themselves. And so I don't see them becoming black folks of yesteryears. I just don't, because we sat up here last week. Wait a minute, brother. We sat up here just last week and talked about how the younger black generation, when you talk to them, they on something totally different. That we can't even have a conversation with them when it comes to the whole thing about relationships and marriage, because they on a whole different plane, brother.
But this is
so
what the problem
mindset
is.
already
Information,
different
man.
from ours.
No, but listen, this is what the problem is. Yes, it would be different, but this is where the problem lies.
Okay.
Different doesn't mean better. It does not mean better.
True. But I don't think that's
again,
what
where are
I'm
they
I'm
going?
not
They're
saying-
not.
I don't think
They're
I'm
not
getting
going to the
information-
Republican Party,
information, man.
and I don't
We
think
gotta
they're going
wait
to
till they get in that
independent
booth.
party. So
No, I'm just saying we got to wait till they get in that booth. To be quite honest, a lot
That's
talk
true.
is cheap. Talk is cheap, but we got to find out what's going to happen when they get in that booth and who are they actually voting for. I agree
Okay.
with you, information, man. I think the younger generation has had enough of the bullshit. I
Right.
think they're
Trey-
tired of it.
And
I
as
think
far
they're
as
tired
people
of it.
stealing
But
their
we won't know for
ideas,
sure until we get the final results.
Yeah,
I
as
think
far
the
as
problem
people-
also is
Here's the
the-
thing. So hold on, y'all. Hold on a second. As far as people stealing their ideas, you can't do that no more. We got patents now.
That's
so
right.
back then, you could bully people
That's
and
true.
steal their stuff.
That's
you
right.
can't do that anymore. So when these kids get rich, they're gonna stay rich. And guess what? They're gonna hire some more people. And guess
Well,
what
wait a
they're
minute.
gonna
Sure
do?
they can.
They're
Sure
gonna
they can still
they're
do
gonna they're gonna vote their own best interests. And I don't know about y'all, but nothing makes you vote Republican more than money.
Let,
You know
let,
what I'm saying?
hang on, what makes
let
you
me
think-
throw this
hang on,
out
what
here.
makes you think they can't
I
take
saw
your
something that
patents?
made me really
Aren't
proud. I saw something that made me really proud. I just read an article that said that the newest, largest group of stock investors are black men. And that made me grin from ear to ear, man.
And
I
what
was so-
generation? What
this is-
generation?
This is Gen Z.
That's right.
Exactly.
They on a whole nother level, man.
And it made
I'm
me
telling you.
smile. I mean, I was
Y'all better-
cheesing
I mean-
because I was so proud. I'm like, finally, like they're getting it. You're never going to get rich with a salary. You got.
They know it.
You got to
Man,
invest that money.
A lot of these kids this younger generation is figured out that maybe it don't make sense to go to college and get college debt. They figured that game out too. But let me say this.
Wait.
Haven't you all noticed the statistical numbers that every year the more and more black men are pulling away from the Democrats and the Republicans are starting to increase? Because every year Trump was increasing black men that wanted to vote for him, right? So what does that tell you? That tells you that, JT, respectfully to you, brother, that there is a little change coming. Because every year, more and more black men are peeling away from the Democrats in particular. And we're going to have more that's
I'm
going
not
to peel away
saying
this
that
year.
it's not going to be a change. Everything changes. This is what I'm saying. People still repeat the change. Currency is changing, of course. They don't know what we knew. They didn't have to go up the way we grew up. They have a more of a advantage now because guess what? Technology makes it a lot better for them to do it, especially when it comes down to making money. Absolutely. But because they have money does not mean that they're going to be smart with politics.
Okay.
The
I mean, that's a
currency is
very good
changing.
point you're
It's going to
making.
be a
That-
time.
that-
I'm gonna
that
tell you
does
right
make
now,
sense because
there's going to be a time. There's going to be a
Making
time where
points.
you're going to see a bunch of people that still got the same mindset, and they're going to have a whole bunch of money in suitcases, right? Whole bunch of dollars. And they're going to be sitting there using phones and shit, using money phones and shit. They're going to be having all this goddamn money, and it ain't going to have no damn value.
Yeah, just let it crash. Let another crash happen.
Yes. But what I'm saying is different doesn't mean that it's going to be better. It's just going to mean that it's going to be a different struggle. Ain't nobody going to be sitting back talking about black and white and all of this shit. They're going to be talking about other shit. You're not going to be talking about no Democrats and Republicans. They're going to be talking about different groups of people. It's going to be different struggles.
But for the
That's what
purpose
I'm
of the
saying.
show tonight, we're talking about politics. And I'm simply just saying that when you have every generation voted different from the next generation, every generation had a different view of what was important to them, right? I'm a Gen Xer. what Gen Xers wanted is different from what Z generation wants today, right?
Right.
Because Gen Xers, we pretty much got our P's and Q's from the baby boomers. So the baby boomers told us, vote this way. So that's why a lot of Gen Xers, you know, that's why a lot of us have been loyal to the Democratic Party, because we following what our parents told us. Our parents told us, just go to college, get a BA degree, get a master's degree, and you're going to be fine. So we said, yeah, let's do that. And I'm the first black person in my family. We followed what the baby boomers were teaching us because they thought that's what was going to make us make it. But these kids today, shit, they saying, fuck it. I can get rich, make money, being a social media personality, making my own damn business. Because the computers has equalized their ability to spread their brand, right? Whereas me and you, we could only imagine some shit like that. Right? But but JT, you do make a powerful point when you say, hey, the politics may it could stay the same. It could not, it may not be better. You make a good point.
Well, JT, this is the beauty of this. It's the same thing I say in sports all the time, right? We just watching March Madness in Kentucky and Kansas. I say this all the time. There's a reason why you play the games. There's a reason why you play the game, because you don't know what will happen. So we're gonna find out when November show rolls around. We'll find out if these young guys. I believe them. I believe that they've had enough of it. I believe they've watched us, the millennials. I'm a millennial. I think they've watched. You know, my mother is a boomer. I think they've watched it and they said, this is ridiculous, and they've decided we're not gonna go that route anymore. I also think that Gen Z is far more independent thinking than any other generation. I think that they think on their own. And I think they make decisions based on what's best for them. I think they do that better than any other generation has done. However, again, time will tell. You got to get in that booth. You got to press that button. You got to pick somebody. And we'll find out. You know, do you resort back to what Mama said, Democrat, or do you follow your own independent thinking? We'll find out. But I have faith in them. I think that they're going to follow. I think they're independent thinkers. I would love to see it, because I think that would be the proper way to go about this, is to sort of let this younger generation sort of lead us out of this darkness. I don't think the boomers are going to do it. I don't think anybody that's from the silent generation that's still alive is going to do it. I think Gen X might be a little jaded. Millennials, we just pissed and angry, right? We just pissed and angry, right? I think Gen Z is the only generation that's like, all right, we got it. We'll take care of it from here, because they've had 4 other generations to watch and learn from. I have faith in them, and I'm typically not optimistic. I'm more pessimistic most times, but I kind of believe in them.
But Trey, just your gut though, where do you think that the Zers are going politically, or is it even do we even need to change the words that we're saying? So a lot of this conversation tonight, again, based on what we grew up with, is conservative or liberal, fiscally conservative, culturally. Are Zers, do you think, even operating on that? Do we even need to change the language in how we define them? Because I don't think with the frustration part I get, I think more times than not, I think they're going to be more apathetic, but I just don't see Zers going to the Republican Party or conservative in droves.
No, they're not.
Issues that are on the table now. I can't see them going there. But do we need to change the conversation that we're not defining these boxes that we're putting them in, that we have to think differently, and that's going to also then mandate a different type of politician where we can't be talking conservative and liberal because they don't that's your grandmother's.
Right, they don't think that way. They're not into the whole liberal and conservative thing.
That's what I was going to say, Mr. Bennett. I don't think it's going to be conservative or liberal anymore. I think Gen Z, or the word they're going to use, is accountable. We're going to be the generation that's going to hold you accountable for what you say. If you're telling us you're going to do this, we're going to expect for you to do it, and we're going to hold you to that. And if you don't do what you say you're going to do, we're going to show you by not voting for you. I don't think that they're going to have the what's the word I'm looking for? The allegiance to the parties like the generations of the past. I think, again, with the independent thought that they have, they're going to go. I think Information Man spoke on it earlier. They're going to go with who is best for based on what they believe and what's best for them. I think this will be the generation where you won't be able to tell who's who, because they're going to go, no, this is what works for me, and this is who I'm voting
can
for.
that still work though with a two-party system?
No, I think what's going to happen.
I don't think it works with a two-party system.
Nah. To piggyback what you were about to say, Trey.
That's what I'm saying.
I think to piggyback what you were saying, Trey. I think they're the ones that are going to start motivating and start building the third-party system. I think they're the ones that are going to lay the foundation to start these other parties to get them off the ground. I think the Libertarian, the Green, the Freedom, the No Label, all these other parties that have been trying to get a seat at the table for a long time, they're the ones that are going to jumpstart them. I really do. I think that that generation of those under the age of 30, they're the ones that are going to get these parties off the ground and running.
As long as they don't put no money behind AOC, I'm all good with it.
But it's going to be, but Trey, I think it's going to be to your point. You mentioned Kentucky earlier, and or what we're seeing in the tournament. First of all, if you filled out a bracket this year,
good luck, buddy.
I feel bad.
Nah, I stopped filling out.
The first night it was blowing up. The 4-13 upset.
Honestly,
everybody. I think.
But the point is, they were saying
the first night.
The reason why Kentucky lost is because of C-19. You had a lot of these older teams. You had these guys. The guy who went off and scored had 10 3-pointers. The guys, he's in his 6th year. So you playing grown men where Calipari was thinking this one and done thing. And so these guys didn't come in there with the experience. So again, the old blue blood teams, they're going to have to start doing something different if they want to stay viable. Otherwise, you're going to be getting to the tournament and getting bounced out of the tournament.
I think what it is also, Mr. Bennett, with I stopped playing the bracket since UMBC beat Virginia. So,
oh man,
yeah. So I think what it is also the reason a lot of these teams are doing it because, like you said, you got schools keeping guys for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
You got guys staying for 4 or 5 years at these mid majors, and they're not going to. Hold on.
Appreciate it, Antoine.
Well, that's my wife. Hold on.
Well, you know what else?
I'll get back. Hold on.
I know this is a sports show, but there is something else affecting that, and that's NIL deals, which is why a lot of
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, they aren't.
That's the thing. I mean, that's why Saban got out. I mean, Alabama, that was an institution. Saban's like, he saw the writing on the wall.
He told him what's going to happen from the beginning.
Yeah. And so he got out. So the landscape is certainly changing. And so, how it's going to look politically in the future, what the party system is going to look like, or what people are going to be voting for, I think it's definitely going to be different from us, or from a lot of us older people. And, the question is, are we going to be accept that, or are these older people, are they going to then be resistant? We already got this issue with Gen Xers and millennials and Zers now. Is that divide going to be further widened when these young people in 20, like I think mentioned 28 and 32, they're going to be putting agendas on the table. Us, we're going to be probably in our retirement years at that point. We're going to be like, oh, is this something that we're going to go with? And then is some of that old money going to have to fuel something and say, hey, wait a minute, y'all moving in the right direction that we're not comfortable with? Are we going to let them go and just progress?
They're going to go whether we let them go or not. They're going to go. So are
they going to go for the better from our perspective, or is it going to be
Go ahead,
I think it's much deeper than that. But when I'm looking at it like this, I'm listening to the whole conversation, and I'm asking myself, what is the temperature right now with the new generation? You go across to these multiple social media platforms, you start to realize something is standing out a lot more. There are people not asking these questions. What did the political really have for us? We're hearing that we are replacing our job with AI, which is a strike right there. You're hearing that they're pushing these type of agenda down these people's throat, either they like it or not. You're shutting down TikTok because TikTok is doing something completely different from what Facebook, IGs, and other platforms been doing. They've been controlling the narrative, but don't let people be free with how they think without quote-unquote cancel culture. As to look at it more and more, I start to see it's more than just what we think it is. Because remember, past 2 years ago, we were going back and forth about who was FBA, who was ADOS, and etc. Right now, me being a father and a grandfather, I had to look at my kids and see what they're thinking, what their interactions will be like, what they're talking about. I got to look at the younger generation around my neighborhood and see what they speak about the most. And I thought to notice one thing. They are very, very disconnected for how we see things, which is a little more shocking than what it is. So I wouldn't be surprised if these young girls don't go out and vote and pick between the two parties who they prefer. But what I'm noticing is just more like there's a chance there will be a third party, but we based, like you say, based on accountability, because we're in a digital age. Whatever you say or whatever you do, it's being recorded. When you say on the news or any other platform, they're going to record and hold you against it. If you say, oh, I didn't say that, they'll go back and replay. Didn't know what you said when you were on this platform? Did you say this? What you all about? Why all of a sudden now you want to change your word and all that? Why you want to act like you didn't say this? Because, for example, Candace Owen, she went to the Breakfast Club, she went to Joe Burden. She's trying to
come back to the cookout.
Bingo. And what the first thing happened? Everybody making meme like, nah, but you were saying X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. So imagine these politicians who are doing all this shucking and jiving, trying to get the vote. How much mistake have you made on the platform, on the news media, have people not been recording lately? So they can use that to hang you with. Because when you mention symbolism, I mean, we have seen it throughout for the past 6 decades. It's ridiculous. You're getting too far. Symbolism don't work with the young generation. Yeah, Trump coming out with the golden sneaker that I was like, okay, really?
$17. Go to Temu. You'll see him there.
I like, how far can you go? Because I was asking myself, if you keep going like this, what do you think the other countries around the world looking at the U.S.? Like, are we that dumbed down? Are we that dumb stupid? Because as a immigrant, not all illegal immigrants coming through the border. A lot of your illegal immigration coming from people flying in with visa, and their visa expired.
Yep.
And they're staying behind.
That's very
they marry
true.
those American women.
That's very true.
Just saying.
You know, here's my thing, man. I think a lot of times we really need to take a look back. We like to start our politics at the ballot box. But my thing is, you need to figure out exactly what happens before that happens. When these people start removing diversity, you know what I mean, and that type of thing, that went under the radar. You know what I mean? Y'all totally missed that part. So the next time you quit your job and try to get another one, and they don't hire you, you know what I'm saying? Surprise. You see what I'm saying? And then on top of that, when you try to, buy your goods and services, from here in America, and everything is a skyrocket because we have tariffs, because of what Trump and them said with China. Hey, give us a fair deal, or else we're gonna hit you with tariffs. And now everything's going up. Well, surprise. That's politics, y'all. It hits you in your pocket. So my thing is, I want everybody to pay attention to the news, pay attention to your politics for real before the ballot box, and figure out exactly what's going on. Because by the time you get to the ballot box, whatever needed to be done is done. Think about it. They removed Roe v. Wade while you wasn't looking. You know what I'm saying? They got rid of this diversity thing while you wasn't looking. You know what I mean? That is your politics. So now we have women having to go across state lines to handle their business. You see what I'm saying? We got people having to get their goods and services through other means so they don't have to pay these tariffs and taxes and coming in through other places, taking 2 and 3 weeks to get stuff. That's probably the reason why we had that bridge collapse over there in Baltimore, because somebody was probably sneaking in goods and tried to turn the ship off. And now we got a whole bridge tow up. It's the little things that get us that we don't pay attention to. You see what I'm saying?
Loss. I want to follow up. Thanks for.
Go ahead.
I want to follow up on something you were saying earlier about people need to start having their own businesses and whatnot.
Right.
My only pushback on that is I've seen though what the superstores have done to local communities.
Correct.
So when they put a Walmart in a community or a Target or something, this is globally, like especially in other countries. I've seen India when they put up the big mega malls and stuff, and what it wrecks these communities, because again, people oftentimes vote or purchase with their dollars. So if Walmart's going to give me something for $2, but your local store is selling it for $5,
right?
You're asking a lot of people to say, well, I'm going to support this local store or my store. I would love it if they did that, but it's hard to turn down when these guys who have so much purchasing power, to which, so again, even if we did do something like that, I think we're still going to have some sort of collective buying. And I know that happens with a lot of the Asians, especially with the hair and the salons. they group buy stuff, and this is why they keep killing black beauty salons and black businesses. I saw it when Chris Rock came out with that good hair. We saw how those folks operate. Everything is networked.
Right. You know why I see this a good example of that?
They get the prices down to where they can compete on the local level. But that, I think, has to be a part of the equation too. We just say, okay, let everybody just start a business, but we got to find some way to leverage our purchasing power to be able to compete with these bigger companies.
I'll give you an example how I see that. I'll give you an example how I see that. Your local farmers market is where a lot of these farmers get together and they sell their stuff a lot cheaper than Walmart. The only reason why we think Walmart is cheaper is because Walmart told us they were cheaper. You see what I'm saying? We don't do our research, you know. That's just an example. You know what I mean? Also, it's like we said earlier, black people need to have something that other people need to buy. You see what I'm saying? We have to make sure that we at least have some type of land, some type of resource, something we can make from scratch ourselves and say, hey, we need this. But my thing is we can't do that if we're not educating ourselves on how to do business. Think about it. We go to work every day for somebody else and work at their place. How come we can't learn what they're doing there and create our own? You see what I'm saying? That type of thing. Think about it. We have people who know technology, you know, as far as computers or whatever. We have people who know how to leverage networks. That right there is the beginning. We are actually doing the work. We're just not doing it for ourselves. It's all about a collective. Think about it. When these people get together all the time, they're at these country clubs having meetings, talking about who does what. You know how I know? Because I see it all the time. You know, even on TikTok, this is one girl I watched, Lizzie, young black girl, fine. She played a harp. And all you can do is you can hear them people back there clanking them glasses while they talking about their money while she's playing the harp. And I'm thinking to myself, how come we can't be making money like that? We need to get together and figure out exactly who's good at what and how to leverage it.
But when when you're talking about that with the market, right?
Right.
When you're talking about people having their own market and stuff. So we have one here in Detroit called the Eastern Market, right?
Right.
It's a lot of money for that man or those folks to keep that. It's a black-owned market, and it's been here since the 60s or 50s or something like that. But it takes people to support it in order for that to happen. First and foremost, it's red line. When you're talking about getting fresh fruits and vegetables and things like that, in Michigan, a lot of people don't know this, it is an agriculture, an industrial state. So when you're talking about agriculture, the whole biggest part is that you need farmers, right? Guess what happened? It goes to what Mr. Bennett was just saying. Those bigger corporations, they drown out the small ones. They drown. Look at how many people across the United States have to sell their farm because it can't make any money because they're being redlined, right? When you're talking about supporting, black people, this is the thing. We shouldn't have to say supporting black folks. We should be just supporting our community, where we're at, where we live. That's how we support them. It is very difficult to support a community that's not really a community when you have these big corporations that's putting these mega stores or these mega markets out there, because it's not about the market itself. It's about the distribution. It's about who you can get to get you those deals. So if I got a store, for instance, the biggest thing is that we'll tell people, get a t-shirt, start selling t-shirts and things like that.
Yeah, but people don't buy t-shirts every day.
When you got everybody selling t-shirts, guess what? No, you do.
It
you have a
kills the
shitload
value.
of people buying t-shirts, but you got a shitload of people that's selling t-shirts.
But here's my thing. People
if
eat
everybody
every
is
day.
doing the same thing, you just flooded the market. That's
Everybody don't
the
have
problem.
to do the
Everybody
same
runs to one thing.
No, everybody don't have to do the same. That was never my thing. I was using that as an
I'm not
example.
saying that. I'm just saying when you were saying why we can't do it, you have a lot of people that's in these businesses.
I didn't say we couldn't do it. I said we could.
No, but I'm saying there's a reason why. One reason I can keep saying, you don't have enough kids that's going into these fields. Yes, technology, but everything is technology. A cell phone ain't the only thing that's technology. A tractor is technology. Cars are technology. Scissors are technology. All of this is technology.
Toilet
But you
paper
got everybody,
is technology.
right?
Toothpaste is technology. Stuff that people use every day. Goods and services people use every day. That's my whole thing.
So
make
we
your
have
staples. Make your staples local. That's all
now
I'm
watch
saying.
this.
Yeah.
We have, and I support these. I myself, it's a paper company, black owned paper company. They sell toilet tissue, they sell napkins, they sell everything when it comes down to. They even sell soap. They sell. How many black folks do you really think that's actually supporting them? Guess who their number one supporters are?
I have no idea.
Non-black people. I have a guy right now. If you guys see, it's a T-shirt I wear sometimes, right? It's a T-shirt I have. It has an Ethiopian god on it, right? It's from a black-owned company, Ramo Mart, upscaled. Let me tell you who don't support him. Black folks.
Well, listen, if you have a business, JT, first thing you want everybody to support it. Black, white, indifferent. Those are the business. I think one of the biggest mistakes that we make is as people with black businesses is calling it a black business.
That's my point.
Okay, so the fact is, black. So you got to start somewhere, right? Even if it's a few people, it's a few items. You know, there's a lot of black people who like those big box stores in their neighborhood, so they don't have to go anywhere and they can get food, because as opposed to small businesses, there's always a dance, right?
Right.
The fact that they're losing those stores, you'll know that black people like the big box stores, because now when they get the crime gets so rampant and they leave a neighborhood, that's all people do is complain, right? They don't stop the crime. The politicians at the level don't do anything about the crime, and then they become food deserts.
Correct.
You know, so I mean, it depends on what the commodity is. I mean, but that shouldn't stop anybody from starting a business if they have a good plan. It depends on what they're selling and who they're selling it to. But I think so. Those two things don't have to be conflated.
It'll make you move your business, though. It'll make you move your business.
Well, the point is that's fine, but that's free market. That's free market society.
So
Can I say something?
What I'm saying is this: the problem that we have is that we keep having this mindset where it has to be black dollars.
Actually, I'm going to repeat what I said earlier.
Let me just land. I understand what you're saying, Loss, but what I'm saying is on a larger scale, we have more black people saying buy black. We have more black folks saying that, and we keep putting ourselves in a small, a little circle when it comes down to it. When it comes down to exchanging. In barter and all these different things, we would say that. But in the actuality, you don't have black people that's supporting black people the way that they want to be supported. My whole thing is this: don't call it black. They gonna see it. You got the best store, you call it the best store, not the best black store.
JT, here's my thing. Here's my thing.
I'm not
saying. Listen, I'm not saying have brick and mortar stores.
Not going to support black people because you call it black, brother. You got black people
who
have grocery stores. I didn't say because you call it
black.
I
didn't say because you call it black.
I seen black people who have businesses and they didn't try to promote it as a black business, and you still have black people that will come into their store and expect to get a damn discount because you black and I'm black, right? We have black people who guilt trip other black people when they have a business. So black people in general don't support black people in business because we think that black people in business owe us something. We think that they supposed to give us that fucking handout, or we hate on one another because we say, how that nigga get a business and I ain't got a business, right?
Right. And on top of that,
I seen this firsthand growing up. I knew someone who had a store. And he was, and black folks were not supporting his store,
right?
Because they kept trying to come in, trying to get discounts and shit. And when he would say, "No, this is the price," what do we do to each other? Oh, you a sellout.
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't nothing.
Well,
man.
that speaks to my point.
I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying you don't even have to say it's a black business. Just be a black person in business, and you'll have a percentage of our people that may hate on that.
We have the businesses that cater most to black people aren't even owned by black people. So I'm not sure how that makes sense.
Right,
the Asians own most of the beauty supply stores.
We used to own it though. We used to, and we gave it.
But like I said, it's not only that they own it, they network in terms of the buying power. They go into the ports to collectively buy and distribute.
Distribution. Distribution.
So again,
But
I don't even think it's they've been able to be competitive.
Right.
And again,
because
you don't have enough of it's not just black customers supporting the black business. Black businesses aren't supporting black businesses.
Yes.
Right.
And that's the difference that we're seeing with these other communities.
But remember, a lot of these Asian
Joshua.
businesses that took over the hair industry, a lot of these folks, when they come over here, they've already got the connections with the shit that's coming from across seas. See, we keep forgetting that a lot of these immigrants, no disrespect to my brother CBN, this ain't pertaining to my African brothers, but I'm talking about these other immigrants, the Asians and all these other groups of people. We keep forgetting that these people come over here. We think that they all come over here poor with no money. Some of them come over here from a wealthy background or a background of means. Mm-hmm. And then they got the connections in the ports. And because a lot of this shit, these products are coming from across seas. Yeah. So they got the inside scoop on it because they got their people back there hooking them up. So some of these folks do have advantages sometimes over traditional black business people. They do have a little bit of advantage over us from that perspective. But it still doesn't mean that we should not try to diversify our business practices. You're absolutely right about that.
Mm-hmm. Let me before you get started. Hold on a second, Black David. I want to make sure I get this point in, and I want to make sure I be clear with this. Mm-hmm. Just because you have a black business doesn't mean you can't do business with other people. I'll give you an example. Right. I saw this on TikTok the other day because TikTok be rocking. Let me ask you this:
some TikTok.
Who owns Patty Pies?
Walmart.
Never heard of that. The brand.
Patty Pies is Patty LaBelle's pies.
Oh, okay.
Right. Did you know Patty LaBelle only makes 20%? Walmart actually owns.
That's what our video
Pies.
Yep.
So she don't even own it.
No,
she's just a pitch woman for the damn pies.
Exactly.
And she on there singing and get my pies.
But them pies is in Walmart store. They're made by Great Value. If you pick up Patty Pies, you'll see.
I thought she really owned the franchise and
she just endorsed it.
You know what it is? It's
man.
because I want to think that a black person owned the franchise. I want that to be
true.
But
it's the same with same with Trump. All those things he had, Trump Steaks, Trump Universe. He never owned any of that. It was just a naming licensing.
Yeah, he's a good marketer. He don't own none of that shit.
and every one of them failed also.
Yes.
Right. But here's the thing. There's multiple ways you can do business. You see what I'm saying? Say, for instance, you do have a black product. I'll give you an example. Tracy Ellis Ross has her own hair care line, but she sells it in Target. She doesn't have a brick and mortar store. And when you go to buy Tracy Ellis Ross stuff, it don't have Tracy Ellis Ross name on it. It has the name of her business. You don't know she owns it. So white people, black people, whoever else come in there buy it, they buy it and nobody knows that it's black owned. But guess what? It's still black owned. You see what I'm saying? And you still have your own people on the back end handling business. You can still have distributors distributing your product to more than just black people. And your business succeeds because you sell to everybody. You don't necessarily have to pander to black people. All I'm just saying is start a business and sell to anybody.
Walmart is doing it with the
unless you're Asian.
Correct.
Well, I'm pissed off right now.
Unless you're Asian, because again, the store you go. I got one right around the corner from me. There's black signs and posters and models all over the front of the store. Yeah. You can't help but say that's a black store that sells to specific people, and they still make money hand over fist.
Mr. Bennett, look at the check this out. You guys everyone has seen this. You have the Korean stores, Korean owners that will sell they have the beauty stores.
Yeah.
And when you walk to the store, they got black women posters, black everything. Exactly. And as you walk in, you would swear that a black person owns the business.
The store. Right.
But it's all Koreans. I gotta be honest.
Going.
I got a problem with that. And I don't know why black people haven't woke up and say, wait a minute, how can we let these people, when we're the ones that wear all the hair, all the bullshit, how can we let these people outdo us in our own shit?
I got one even better for you.
It goes to what Mr. Bennett was just saying, though. It's not what you see on the surface. It's literally what actually matters. distribution matters. You can't get, you know how many people was trying to get their own black store, brick and mortar, and they got red line out of it because you have to get the hair. You're not.
But JT,
this is why I have a problem with this.
JT, here's the thing.
I don't like the fact that black women buy hair that doesn't look like theirs. I don't like the fact of that. I asked black women, well, why don't y'all sell y'all hair?
They ain't finna agree
Guess
with
what
that.
I got?
Lord.
Guess what I got?
They already got
Ain't
a
nobody got that
Lord.
shit.
Chris Rock tried to
won't
do
nobody
that.
buy it.
Here's my thing, man.
So I have a problem with that shit.
Here's
Rock
my
tried
thing.
to do
Before
that,
we
bro.
start switching it up, man. It's
I
like
gotta
we
go.
said earlier. It's like we said earlier, man. It's 2024. You don't have to put up a brick and mortar store. Amazon will sell your stuff, and nobody will know you're black, and they will buy it. All I'm saying is create
Maybe that's the
something
way to go.
for somebody to buy.
Wait
That's
a minute.
all I'm saying.
Lost in
You know?
translation. Maybe you're onto something. Maybe black people need to sell our stuff covertly through these type of platforms.
Correct.
Maybe we gotta, like you said,
Well,
try
black
diverse.
people are doing it.
Exactly.
It's called drop shipping.
Okay.
No. I ain't talking
They-
about drop shipping. No. Stop that. When
No,
you say
listen.
drop shipping, you saying somebody else makes something else, stored in
Listen.
somebody else's warehouse, and you
Just
get a little
listen.
cut of it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
Just-
physically making your own product from the beginning
So
to the
guess
end.
what they
I'm talking
start
about from
doing
the
first?
container. I'm talking about from the ingredients. I'm talking about from the
So that's
labeling,
fun of them?
from the marketing, all of that stuff.
Listen,
and then
listen,
you put it in
listen.
somebody
I'm
else's
telling you right
distribution.
now.
Can I speak on this?
Listen, this is what I deal with. The first thing that people do is what they can get, how to get in the game. They have to first and foremost learn how to get their stuff marketed. They have to also learn how to get the ingredients. They have to learn a whole lot of things that they have to get that's going in there. What you're just asking, and I'm telling you, you do have black folks that sells their own, but they don't start out with that. It starts out with drop shipping. Because you got to have seed money. You got to have all kind of shit. It's not the fact that people are not doing it. You got a bunch of black people that are selling shit. I live in the Metro
That's true.
Detroit area. Let me
That's
tell
true.
you what we have. We have spots every summer, all summer, where you have community. In the community, people come out, and the only thing you have to do is get you a booth. The booth only probably
Yeah,
costs you
pop-up stores,
probably about
pop-up.
$50 doggone dollars. And they go out there and do it all day. This is still one of the blackest goddamn cities in America. When it comes down to it, it is still hard for people to get out there because guess what they can do? They can make a couple of dollars, make a couple of $1,000s or whatever. But these people don't want to just make a couple of $1,000s, man. They want to actually have something where they can have a legacy, something that they can transfer. And it's not being they're right there. What we were just talking about, information, man.
Yeah.
They would cater to one set of people.
Right.
Instead of
You
saying
talking about
all of how
expanding.
big Michigan is a big ass place.
So
You don't
what
have
black
to be
people,
in just Detroit.
What black people should do, I get where you're coming from. Maybe what black people should do is just come up with a product that all people want. Don't get caught up in the whole blackity black, and don't talk back. And just sell a goddamn product and call it whatever the fuck you want to call it, but sell a product that everybody wants.
My beer,
I get it.
what
I totally get it.
I go to black owned people, not because they're black owned. It just so happened that the shit that they sell is good. Now, word of mouth, the way it was marketed, I was like, man, all of my shit that comes from, for my beard, it comes from black owned people. And it's good. I love it. I have stuff like, I got some stuff right now called Zeresh, right? It's called Zeresh. You get out the shower, you put the little hookup on or whatever. You got it, they make it for your beard, they got it for your skin, your bald head. It's all this shit. They got so much shit on here.
Pass it on, bro. Pass it
So
on.
damn much. I promoted this shit so damn much, bro, where black folks are now starting to say, hey man, and it's a little pricey, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's good. It's a great product.
Hey.
They got a lot of products,
but
and it's a great
are
product.
non-black people, to your earlier point, are non-black people also supporting this store?
Yes. Absolutely.
So maybe
you wouldn't even know that it was black owned if you go on the website. You wouldn't know it was black owned.
JT, maybe this is what black people have to do. You create a black business, or you create a business, right? That you cater to black people and just all kind of people. And what you need to do, JT, don't put your black ass on the brand. Get you a white dude. Get you a white boy. Like JT, remember that historical? No, there was a movie about this. It was history.
Yes.
There was these two brothers that were
With the
real
banker,
estate.
yeah.
Right, the banker movie, and they used a white dude as maybe that's what you gotta do, man. You gotta get a white dude to be the pitch man and make black folks think he owned the business because black people will buy anything that white people make.
They do us like that. They do us like that. We might as well flip it.
Hey, check this
No.
out.
Yes.
Hey, where I live at, I know a dude who has is a black man that owns an Indian restaurant. But he got all Indians that's making the food that's working in the restaurant. You would never know that a brother owns a restaurant. That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
You know what? You playing information, man. There's a Chinese restaurant. Listen, there's a Chinese restaurant around the block from my house. They got a Mexican cook cooking the Chinese food. The gas station I got down the street. The gas station I got down the street is got Arabs working the register, but it's this little old white lady that owned the store. You know what I'm saying? So you're right. Sometimes you got to make it seem like these people are catering to you, and it's a little special. But I'll show you somebody else is owning it.
Now I gotta say, some of this shit is anecdotal. Like I said, Detroit. Some people don't get out the mindset. So this is why I say some of the things that I say too, because people just don't get out the mindset. So you got everybody trying to do this hibachi shit, right? Everybody got they just everything is hibachi. Everything. They just hibachi meat and all this stuff. They got this one company called Hood Bachi. I was so fucking mad when I seen that shit. It's a truck. It's a food truck.
Food bachi, hood bachi.
It's called
That's an insult. That's an insult, man.
Hood bachi. I was just so mad at them.
Bachi's balls.
So mad at them.
JT, we need evidence. JT, we need evidence. Give up.
Yeah, man, you gotta take a picture of that.
So it's a guy named, I don't know, it's a food critic, right? It's a food critic named Mr. Chime. If anybody know, I'm gonna look him up, but he did a review on them. He did a review on it. If I can find, he did, because he came to Detroit and he went through all these restaurants in Detroit, man. It was so many, and he's really hard on a lot of these restaurants. And he ended up going to the restaurant. Now, the craziest thing was that they wasn't open when they said that they were supposed to be open. They were supposed to have been open at, I think, at 12. They didn't even get there until 2. They didn't have the restaurant where they said the street that they said it was on. They was parked around the block. It was just terrible. Christ. Then the food was very terrible. They didn't have seasoned meat. It was just, and they was charging $34. And the rice was not al dente. It was just really bad. The vegetables were not good. Okay. And man, he told them up. If I can find, man, I'm gonna look for it now.
Hey, gentlemen, I gotta cut out, gentlemen.
I gotta cut out too.
We're gonna wrap this thing on up, man. I appreciate y'all coming out. My whole thing is this, man. I'm gonna say this and we're gonna get up out of here. My thing is sometimes we gotta cut the excuses, man. You know what I mean? There's more than one way to skin a cat. You know what I mean? And what we gotta do is we gotta stop telling people that you can't do it and in the middle of somebody else actually doing it. You know what I'm saying? Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean somebody else don't understand what they're doing. And politics is pretty much the same thing. Make sure that whatever it is you're voting, vote your own interests, whether it be Democrat or whether it be Republican. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight to the Black Man Unfiltered and the Lit Network flipping tables tonight. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button and make sure you guys hit subscribe on the way out. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you and good night.
Hey, hold on, before you go. So tomorrow I won't be doing a show.
Oh,
okay. I'm gonna be on This Might Be Risky. Me and Black Man Unfiltered will be on This Might Be Risky tomorrow.
I'll check that out tomorrow.
Yeah, cool. So we're gonna be on there tomorrow night. So that's
Lord.
I won't be doing a show here. We be
so the sports show go a little longer then.
Huh?
Yeah.
So the sports show go a little longer then.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Good night.
Good
night, y'all. You're talking to back chat. Y'all dragging the show out. Y'all have a good night.
All right, bro.